Hello, everyone. We're here again, and it's the first one of the new year, and it's episode 89. So you've got to put up with us for another year, and hope you enjoy what we do. As I say, this is episode 89, so this is great stuff, and we'll be always here every week. We'll be up, yes. Welcome as always, Delboy. Thank you so much
Hello.
for being on here. And I normally ask the same question. What have you been watching? Or what have you received, if anything? Because I know it's probably not a big time of year for receiving
Yeah,
things.
I was. We were
Yeah.
just talking about it, and I have to say it's probably one of the lightest times. Um, for me to talk about anything really, because after the new year, I was starting to build this PC that was mentioned in my blog, and that
Yes.
took an awful
Yeah.
lot of my time away. And then I've been back at work on Monday, and in the evening, I look after my mother an awful lot, and then I've been so tired because I've gone back to work that I've gone to bed at night. And I'll tell you what I start to watch when I'm at night. I watched Doctor Who, right? The Sensorites in particular.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. I did that other week. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I love the
Yeah.
Sensorites because it starts off so well. That's what I will say about that,
Yeah.
that story, because it starts off with a mystery. They land on a ship. They don't know they're inside one. When they open it up, they find two dead bodies, but they're not really dead. And then there's these creatures that burn the lock off of the TARDIS, which I thought was a bit strange. That particular thing. But anyway, I finally got that finished. But the only thing I've really watched, and this is really weird, it's a great show. I love the show. I've got it on physical media. Every time it's on telly, I'll watch it. But they're showing it on Sky at like 20 to 6 at night. And it's got one of the worst vocabulary and languages going, with effing and jeffing, and it's all about, it's got lots of things about prostitutes in it, killings and all that sort of stuff. But it's a fantastic show, and that's Deadwood. Now, Deadwood is a Western, and I love Westerns. It's got, I think it's Calamity Jane. It's got a girl in it called Jane. I'm pretty sure it's Calamity Jane. It's got Minnesota in it and all this sort of stuff. They're all names that sound like they're in, like High Noon or whatever it is. But it's Ian McShane. It sort of shines in it an awful lot. He's the sort of person that controls the town. He can shut it down in an instant, basically. He's the person who owns the tavern and the gambling and the prostitutes, and of course it's a gold mine type environment. And it lasted for several seasons. It never had an ending. It was cancelled, I think, because of the money initially. And about 7 or 8 years later, they finished it off with a film, which give you some sort of closure, but it was so fast to close all the loopholes, it wasn't satisfying. And if you ever go on Wikipedia, if I remember rightly, if you go to Wikipedia, they will tell you on there that the next season would have been a big storm that causes a problem. And then in the last season, there would have been another season after that. It would have been a fire that destroyed the whole of the town. That would have been the end. And that sounds really interesting to me. And they should never have closed it, to be quite honest. So what can I I've got to see if I can turn this thing off. Hang on. not that prepared. Hang on. It's this one, isn't it? Right. So I'll turn this background off. There we go. So you should be able to see me now. In Norm. There are we. There we are. Right. So this turned up today, and funnily enough, I looked at the Blu-ray of this literally over Christmas. It's the Steelbook and 4K edition of the Blues Brothers.
Oh.
Now, I really like the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
The Blues Brothers is one of those films that I saw very early on in my sort of like time of renting videos on VHS. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those early ones.
Yeah, I saw it at cinema.
Like
I
I saw
loved it.
E.T. very early on, and I saw
Such a good film.
Rocky 3 very early on, and Jaws very early on. You know, these were the very early films. Blues Brothers was another one. And it's just one that I sort of fell in love with, probably because of the music.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live wasn't something that was particularly well known in England when this was out. You know, it was a big thing over in America, but if you were to ask anybody, do you watch John Belushi doing the Samurai Delicatessen? People would have gone, "What are you on about? I've got bloody clue what you're talking about."
Yeah.
And I suppose that's one of the heartaches as well for when Steve Martin started his career in The Jerk, because that was in a very early 80s film. And Steve Martin, how would you have heard of him? You know, he was a Saturday Night Live person again. You know, he had stand-up comedian, but if you would have said, "Oh, have you seen Steve Martin? He was doing Fly Dini," right, which is his magician act with where all the magic stuff comes out of his flies, you know, on his trousers. Fly Dini, go figure. You'd have gone, "I've got a clue." In fact, Steve Martin probably didn't really have a fantastic career over it until Roxanne, I would have probably have said, you know, because he was on the Jonathan Ross show and all of that sort of stuff in that particular year. So, yeah, I haven't really got an awful lot to talk about when it comes to films because it's all been answer the pumps in regards to looking after my mum, and of course I've got to go and look after her after you start talking about your films.
Yeah.
So just want to wish everybody else a happy new year. We know that there are other chat things going on tonight. I don't give a shit about that. They can have as many of those things going on as they want. I come in here because it's like a pub, and I'm having a chat with my friend while having a drink. So there you go. And as you know, I find that really funny. So there we go. So I'm looking forward to Tony York Corner. I'm looking forward to the Muckman Step. I don't know. I don't know. So we'll carry on with that.
Yeah. I'll go through some of the things that I am gonna do a weekly watch thing because I watch a lot of things and I don't list everything that I watch. You know, I'm only listing what I've watched just now, but by weekend I'll have watched quite a lot. I know I mention in your blog sometimes, but I don't always list everything. I always list the highlights. It's like I was talking about a film. Anyhow, so I'll tell you my favorite film that really stood out that I really loved, but I enjoyed them all. So first one is it's a war film kind. I think you call it a war film. Yeah, this is the Yangtze incident. This is a film from 1957. It's based on a true story. From
wow, you're in your pension then, weren't you?
1949. It's set in, and in 1949 in China they were having a bit of a civil war with the nationalists and the communists. And this, based on a true story, this ship gets stuck. It gets stuck. It gets fired on by the Chinese. And the story is, how are they going to manage to get through this area and survive? Because when they attack, quite a lot of the crew, unfortunately, died. Quite a high proportion. So it was an absolute tragic things that happened, and they have to get up there. So we get the story of how they manage to somehow get safely right up to a port of safety. I've forgotten which port it is anyhow. But this story, it makes you realize, you know, the sort of conditions that people went through on some of these ships. You know, I mean, have you noticed when you watch films, you always think of poor buggers in engineering.
Yeah.
Engineering is the worst, grimiest, horrible area,
Ooh.
and I think this.
I tell you what, you've just taught me something that I did watch over Christmas, and there was a 4-part dramatization on BBC Two about the Titanic.
All right, yeah.
They were talking about the third-class citizens and the second-class citizens and the first-class citizens, and the fact that there was only so
Ah,
many boats,
yeah,
and that the
yeah,
third-class citizens were segregated because of disease and the money, and that they had to go through an iron gate, and that iron gate was shut when the sink. Anyway, carry on. That just reminds me of that. It was very, very
yeah.
interesting.
What it's fascinating what people go through to, these men. They actually went through such a lot in the terrible circumstances, and that they were seriously they were worried about falling into Chinese hands because they didn't know
Yeah.
what was going to happen. They had to get some sort of negotiation with Chinese going, and they were like playing a game. The Chinese, definitely, the communist Chinese were playing a game
Was it
with the
Yahtzee?
British. Sorry.
Was it Yahtzee?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
No, the game.
Yeah, we get to go. Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's one film to talk about there that I have done. And then another one I've watched is one of your favourite actors,
Ooh.
James Stewart.
Oh, James
Jimmy
Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah.
This is Shenandoah. This is from 1965. So it's another of those. I can't quite like these 60s westerns. It's directed by Andrew V. McLaren or whatever his name is.
Go on, tell me, and sent to you through the post by that bastard Tony York.
It was one from the Tony York collection.
From the Tony York
a long
corner,
time ago. Also, this also has Catherine Ross is in this as well. It's her debut, and Catherine Ross, of course, famous in The Graduate. She was in The Graduate. She was in Butch Cassidy. She was in The Swarm. The
did you say did you say The Swarm?
She was in that. She was in The Swarm.
Yeah, who did the music to that, don't you? Jerry Goldsmith did.
Oh, we've got one. We had to get there, didn't we? We had to get there.
But I just want to mention it. Underrated score as well, really. But go on.
I like this story. I mean, it starts off. James Stewart is mourning the loss of his wife, and he has to bring up his sons and one daughter. And it's really a good tale. And unfortunately for him, the American Civil War is starting, and he's in the South, Virginia, I think it is, and they want him to take part or get some of his sons in, and he's refusing. He is refusing to take part in the Civil War. But what happens in the end is his youngest son is messing around, and he finds a cap, and he puts the cap on, and it's a southern cap of the Confederates, but of course the North Unionist lot come. He runs into them. And so they take him away because they think he's been fighting, and he's not been fighting. So he gets taken away to some camp where they put them all. And so James Stewart reluctantly has to go after him and try and rescue him. And that's how the story progresses. And he takes all his family, and his daughter also goes with him. And they're all after freeing their brother. And it's a great story. He plays it so well. The only thing that really interesting I found, and I don't know how they do it, in about virtually every scene, he has this cigar, a butt, just only a small butt of a cigar, It's like this.
No, they all do that, don't they?
How many did he get through of them in the film? You know, can you imagine filming it be all wet, even if he didn't smoke cigars? All that thing would be all wet and
well, that or a continuity bloody problem for all the way through the whole shoot.
Yeah, getting the right size again.
How did that cigarette get that long?
But I know you like James Stewart, and he's good. What can you say about James Stewart? It's a very good one.
I saw Rear Window over Christmas as well.
Yeah, well, there you are. What can you say about him? I think, and as well, I think what makes this Western interesting is it's actually got quite an anti-war message, I think, through it. And I think that reflects the 1960s. It's not a straightforward, Westerns are often, about conflict between individuals or between groups of individuals. And this is not. It's not like that. And I think that makes it stand out. And I think it is because it's a 60s Western where they were moving forward. And don't forget, Vietnam War was starting in about 1965, getting into its, full swing. So in America, there's the kind of thing going on. So that's an interesting thing. And then the other one, another sort of Western that I watched. There we go. 1966. This is The Professionals. And this has got a tremendous cast. Look at this. It's got Burt Lancaster, who I think is fantastic, Lee Marvin, Robert Ryan, and Jack Palance. I always love about Jack Palance. You can't beat that. He's always going to play kind of a.
Tell me, did the trails have any cardboard boxes on the roads?
No.
No, because that's what The Professionals, Bodie and Doyle's
got. No, not that.
They're riding around. They have to go through a lot of cardboard boxes, don't they?
Oh dear! What can I say? And also,
has he got a Scotsman from upstairs and downstairs?
No, dear.
No, all right then.
Bodie and Doyle. It's a good one, that. And I like Jack Palance because he always plays these. They always seem kind sort of difficult characters, not very nice characters, but in the end, he perhaps isn't as bad as your first image of him. And also, there's another interesting actor, which is Ralph Bellamy. And Ralph Bellamy, he goes right back. I think he goes right back to 1930s making films. And of course, when I think of him, for Trading Places. He's one of the brothers that do the bet. Because I love Trading Places. He's such a great, absolutely love Trading Places. But he's in that. He's one of the people who do the betting. So
Jack Palance.
No, not Jack Palance. Ralph Bellamy.
Ralph Bellamy. Yeah.
Ralph Bellamy.
Jack Palance. I loved him in City Slickers.
Oh yeah, that's a later period of Jack Palance. Yeah, City Slickers. Yeah,
and he was perfect. He was perfect.
He had a big career in that, and then I think finally, and I think it's fitting I should do this. Claudia Cardinale is in this. Claudia Cardinale, who of course died last year. I think it was in about September.
Yeah. We talked about it, didn't we?
Yeah. And she's again an Italian actress who lived in France a lot. That's why she did a lot of French and Italian films. But you have to say it. She's a beautiful woman. She really is a very strikingly beautiful woman.
Yeah, she's got a couple of features, isn't she?
Yeah, she's.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear. You always lower the tone, don't you?
No, she's got a lovely pair of eyes.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and her acting's really good. So
Yes.
what were
Good.
you thinking of, you dirty devil?
What else? Well, I could. It's funny how you thought. Why couldn't you say? Oh, she got 3 things or 4 things. It had to be 2.
Oh, because I could only think of 2. Don't
Yeah.
mean that they
You.
aren't brilliant. That's you and your dirty mind. Nothing to do with
Yeah,
me.
lad. Yeah. Anyhow, she's really grand. Anyhow, I think in it, she's very good, and this is a good film. So I'll just go then with my favourite film of the week that I really rate very highly that I've seen so far. There'll be more films to watch this week, but it is this one. It's Joan of Arc, The Messenger,
Oh,
from
yeah.
1999, based, of course, on the true story of Joan of Arc.
How close is it to the 60s? Joan of Arc. Is it 50s or 60s? 60s.
Do you know? I'm not. This is the only. I'd love to see more about Joan of Arc.
Oh, that's a gorgeous film.
It whetted my appetite, and then obviously I started looking up about finding out a bit more about the historical character.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I didn't realize this film.
Yeah, she was locked away for quite.
This film starts when she's when she's a child and has her visions, but when she becomes known, she's 17 years old.
Yeah,
and she gets burnt at the stake. 19. She's only 19 years old.
There's a scene in the 50s and 60s one where she was given a chance. There was a big meal, or it's not a tournament, but there's a courtyard scene, and all of the lords and everything are sort of around, and then she's taken back to her cell, and then basically there's a nice touching scene in the cell, and then basically you see her burn at the stake, and it's a libertarian thing that speech that's said when she's being burned.
This film is directed by Luc Besson.
Luc Besson,
who's a very good director, isn't he? I mean, he's a really good director. And I've got to say this: I think Mila, is it Jovovich? She's really good in the role. She's been
from The Fifth Element. Yeah.
Other films, The Fifth Element. She's really good. I think this is best I've seen her, and she's so good in this role, playing this.
I think I've seen it. The plate armor is quite good, quite impressive in that.
Well, I think everything is about it. Even for obviously as a director, he's got good. And the way the script is, and they have Dustin Hoffman plays this kind of sort of character, is like a conscience almost, and he's like in her imagination and in her visions, and she's talking to him quite a lot, and I think that's really good. It works well. It captures, I think, very much about her. I mean, nowadays people probably be saying she was mentally ill, and she, for various reasons. A childhood. She did get raped. It's pretty horrendous stuff. What happened to her?
And you haven't seen the the 50s and 60s.
No, it's made me interested.
I'll have to send that to you. I'll have to send it before Tony York gets.
I'll be honest, I didn't know a great deal about it.
I have to send it you before another bloody cardboard box turns up by that bastard Tony. I mean, that Tony York, right? He's probably got one banging its way instantly tomorrow with a nice big postage stamp on it.
It's going again, bottom. But honestly, I'd really recommend this film to anybody. If you're going to pick a historical film that's well directed, that you might, some people probably think, oh, it's another historical film, it's a bit boring. This is not boring. It's not boring. It's you could just watch this and just enjoy it as a film. It's excellent. Absolutely loved
Well,
it.
we talked a bit with Jamie about there's quite a few historical films sort of like coming out this year. I'm quite looking
Yeah,
forward to
I like the
Wuthering
fact.
Heights and
Yeah,
and all of that. In Sense and Sensibility, I think is one. There's the
and
Odyssey,
yeah,
obviously.
the Odyssey is obviously
So,
one. Even though it's on mythology, it's still historical in my eyes
I
because
think it's
it's
about time we
true.
had some
Yeah,
epics. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's going to be a big film, I think. Possibly the film of the year. Hopefully it's as good as the hype. Um, but yeah, I think this is a great film. I highly recommend it to anybody if you're looking. And also, this is what I've noticed. I looked up on the Blu-ray, and guess what? It hasn't got this documentary. There's a brilliant documentary. Again, it's DVDs, and this is where I'm beginning to champion DVDs such a lot. The documentaries and extras they have on these early editions, absolutely fantastic. I looked up the Blu-ray; it's not even on it. This documentary, and it's fantastic documentary interviewing all the cast, and she's there talking about the role. Plus, you get all the historical background.
Don't big it up too much because Tony York will want it back.
He's probably got some.
He's probably going, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to open that box I've got ready to send tomorrow. Look, that's got a documentary on it. That's got a documentary on it. That bastard. He's not having that.
I don't know if there's if there's a collector's edition, maybe perhaps it's not been deemed worthy. If it got a collector's edition, they probably put some documentaries. They probably should.
It could possibly be because I haven't got it in my collection, and I've got quite a few Luc Besson films. It could be that it was one of the early Blu-rays, and therefore it doesn't have much.
Yeah,
because they would have been BD 25s or something like that. They would have been small Blu-ray editions, not 50s.
I think it'd be great if a boutique label got hold of it. They could do a really good job. They could remaster it probably, and put some great extras on there.
Well,
Arrow.
I'm always saying Arrow. When you consider his early films, you could even do a part one of a box set of Luc Besson.
Yeah, I mean, he's a well thought of director, isn't he? So I mean, I think actually, I am wrong. I think there is a Luc Besson box set, and I think it's a Blu-ray, so it is on there. But I'm saying it's not had an individual release. I think there is a box set. I'm sure there is. I think I did come across one, but it's.
I mean, the Big Blue was one of the first films I saw of his, along with Nikita and Leon.
Yeah. Now, did Arrow release that? Leon's
been released several times. It's been released several times.
Yeah. Well, I
think Lions. I think even Lionsgate has brought that out.
I think they should. This is a film that I think would do well. I think it is because she's a popular actress, isn't she? As well, she's quite well thought of actress. I think it should be released. I do. Anyhow, that's it.
Unfortunately, I've got to sort of leave you, and I feel bad because there's probably not a lot of comments for you to talk about.
It's all right. I'll manage to get through somehow. Going away.
I've got some things I want to talk about when I come back. So we got some discussion points. It's just that I need to come back to actually discuss them. So hopefully I won't be too long. But my mum had her injections in her legs on Monday. Wish her well, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
But that means that I have to get her into a wheelchair for about the first few days.
That's all right.
Walk. So it might take even a little bit longer, I'm afraid. But
don't worry.
But hopefully this will be good pain relief, and she'll be able to be more mobile from today.
Well, that's a good news, isn't it?
Let's hope for some good news, shall we? And Happy New Year to everybody. I love you all, except for that Tony York. He's a right little shit. And I'll see you all in a bit.
Right. Okay. So I'll start with the comments now. Let's go through the comments. Right, so the first comment we've got is Si. He says, "Evening, gang, and a happy 2026 to you all, and a happy 2026 to you all." Si, thank you for joining us as usual. Thank you so much. And then we have got Rocket Bunny saying, "A very good evening, guys, and a happy new year, and a happy new year to you. Thank you again for joining us." And then it says, "Hey, Si, happy new year to you also." And so it says, "Same to you, Rocket Bunny." And then Rocket Bunny says, "Well, after all that chat about the fog last week, I decided to give it another go. Oh, I really enjoyed it more this time. Not sure why. I didn't like it so much on the first watch a few years ago. Do you know, I'm really pleased that you did watch it again, because it's such a good film. I, as I say, I rate it really highly, and I always enjoy it. So, you know, I'm glad. I'm sure people still be saying the Thing is the best, and it probably is. But I just got a lot of affection for The Fog. It's such a great picture. And then Tony says, "Good evening, Ian, Del, and chat, and all the best for 2026. Hello, Brigadier, as well. I can see the Brigadier there. Why not, chaps?" Yes. Brilliant. Welcome, Tony. And then, even though you've had to probably put up with all the insults that you normally get from you know who, all the best, Tony York, Si says. And then Rocket Bunny, "Hey, Tony, Happy New Year to you also." And thumbs up there. And then Rocket Bunny says, "Jimmy Stewart makes every movie he's in more watchable. Such a great actor." Yeah, I agree. It's just something about him, isn't there? You know, he's such a great actor. Absolutely brilliant that he in every. I don't know whether I've seen him in a bad film. I don't know. I can't think. I mean, there's probably loads of films I haven't seen of his, but I don't think I've seen him in a bad film. Really, no. And of course, all the stuff he did with Hitchcock as well. That's brilliant. But just generally, he's just absolutely. There's something about him. It's kind of an old-fashioned Hollywood thing, but it's just good. It's just such a good actor. It just comes across. Right, and then Toyota, did you spot the first Doctor? Yes, I did, in Gangsy, and yes, Arnold was there. Actually, it was a slightly bigger role than I thought. Ian McLagan directed a few decent westerns. Yeah, I looked it up. He did, but it was also interested in Yangtze to see, Barry Foster, just very briefly, and Bernard Cribbins. I mean, they're hardly in it. Blink probably, but they're there. They're there in the film, and I looked it up, and it said it was Bernard Cribbins' first film. Yeah, and I think Barry Foster as well. So there we are. Yeah, absolutely one. I love sort of trivia information about it. But I think, as I say, I was so pleased with that film, because it was based on this true historical event, and it captured so much of the peril involved, and that fear that they must have had, all those that survived. You know, when so many of your crew members are just, you know, people that you trusted and believed in are all dead or badly injured, then it must have been absolutely terrifying. Because the captain even dies as well. He takes a really bad hit, and they have a problem getting a doctor there. They do get a doctor eventually to help out, and it's such a, I think, an amazing film. I don't know. It surprised me. Sometimes you get surprised by films, and I mean, it follows that tradition of good British war films. You know, like the Dam Busters, which is a great film. The Dam Busters, all that sort of what they did on these budgets, I always find amazing. You look at the budget and think, how on earth did they manage to produce such great films? You know, it absolutely amazes me, and they always look good. You get good directors there who just create a great atmosphere, and seeing all these actors early on in their careers, I love it. It's a nostalgia thing, but that I can't help but have a love of sort of nostalgic stuff like that. It's just brilliant. And then Sai says, did anyone see Monkhouse's Last Stand on BBC 4? It was shot in 2003 in front of young comedians of the time. He basically gave his life story and some advice to survive in business. It was so good. Do you know, I saw that a long time ago. Absolutely. And I think it probably was on BBC 4, but it was a while ago. And that, before he died as well, that he'd sort of put that in, was absolutely fantastic. And the other thing, of course, and I can link it up quite with all what we talk about, that we can talk about anything, as we do, is films. He was a great archivist about films and full of all about preserving films and building up libraries, and so he wasn't just a comedian and presenter as well. But yeah, he's somebody who was very much part of when I was growing up in the 60s, and then saw him carrying on into the 70s. But he was very quick-witted with his gags. I don't think he was everyone's cup of tea, funnily enough. But he was a familiar face, and it was good to see him outside doing all those game shows he did. He did so many game shows, and I don't think it was properly recognised, as a writer, comedian, and as I say, the film archivist part of him as well, which is absolutely brilliant. So yeah. He also had Mike Yarwood on for a chat. That would have been interesting. After Mike Yarwood, as I remember. And Delboy put a comment in. Was that the one where he chatted to his friend on stage at the end stand, forgot his last name? I don't know. I've seen bits of that on YouTube, Science, says Tony. Yeah. Yes, Mike Yarwood. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Mike Yarwood. And then I recommend it. Had a great story about Peter Sellers' mother. Oh, I love it when you get all these stories. Yeah, on anything. Yeah, it leads you on to more and more. Oh, fantastic. And yeah, that's something to look out for again. Yeah. You don't think it is? No, it won't be on iPlayer, will it? Probably. No, it's a pity. Things like that should be on iPlayer. Rocket Bunny says Rear Window is one of my favorite Hitchcock films. There's just something about it that is very rewatchable for me. Actually, I would say most Hitchcock films are very rewatchable. Maybe not. People probably don't get on as much with his 1930s stuff. But even them, I think, are okay. I think I discovered more of Hitchcock. I got that. I don't know if many of you seen it, but there was like a Blu-ray set of all these Hitchcock films. It wasn't a full filmography of him, but it had quite a lot of good Hitchcock films in. And I discovered these films that I'd not seen before, which was absolutely fantastic. There's some great ones. I think there's one. I think it's called Sabotage, which is a black and white one, which I think is around the time of the 39 Steps. It could be just before or just after, which I found really good. Absolutely. It was about these spies and that, and blowing up and attempting to blow up this thing. It was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. So I think Hitchcock is very rewatchable, actually. All his films are. And of course, the question is, which is the best Hitchcock film? And I think when you say that, I find it difficult to choose. 1 week I might choose one, and I know people will choose, and I know Delboy, probably North by Northwest as one, and it is often cited, and Vertigo, of course, Psycho, all that. But I think there's a lot of the whole catalogue you look at and you think, yeah. I mean, I think Birds is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What he did in the Birds, that sense of the dread and the ending. The ending of the Birds is one of Hitchcock's greatest endings because it's uncertain. We don't know where the birds came from. We don't know anything. It elevates it so much. I mean, Psycho, I absolutely think is great. All these great sort of horror. I mean, the horror stories, and it shows you that he could just do all sorts. He was so good, as a director, and you see all those scenes and you look at them and what he did with the camera. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Anybody who wants to get into Hitchcock, if you can get hold of any of these box sets with them in, it's well worth getting. You could probably pick up DVD ones, maybe quite cheap as well. Well worth getting. Rocket Buddy, have you seen the no remake of Rear Window, Disturbia? I was surprised with it. Oh, that's in the noughties, is it? The early 2000s. Disturbia. I think I've seen that. I'm sure I have. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I like that one. Disturbia. Yeah. And I think you're right. It is effectively a remake of Rear Window, isn't it? Yeah. That's good. Excellent. I enjoyed that one. And then Tony says, really enjoy The Professionals. Claudia Cardinale. Jack Palance isn't quite as crazy as he is in Crazy. Yeah, Craze. What a film that is. He's nothing like he is in Craze. He's a very much more different character, really. He's he's not as bad as they think he is in The Professionals. Oh, but Claudia Cardinale, oh, wow, she's great. You can't help but think, wow, when you see her. She's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. And then we have got Jamie saying, Happy New Year, you filthy animals. Well, thank you, Jamie. Welcome, Jamie. As always, thank you so much for popping in. And then we've got Tony saying, evening, and all the best, Jamie. And then one says, The Professionals is a fantastic Western. I love that one. Oh, wow, it is. It is. It surprised me because, I say, I've not seen that before. When you get a good 60s Western, I'm really on board with them. Really, there's something about them. Absolutely fantastic. And Do you know something? I'm getting into westerns a lot more. I was brought up with them as well. Well, a whole range of films, but through my granddad. My dad was more war films, but my granddad, who lived with us, he was all westerns. He'd watch all anything to do with all the TV series and films, westerns. Always watching them. He loved them, and it makes me think of all that period, and I think, yeah, there's some great westerns. I do like the modern ones as well. The modern ones have a different feel, but I still think they're good. There's a lot of good ones, and I like people changing with the spaghetti western style. I love all that, and then I love that, like, where they were bringing horror into westerns. I think that's that. Like, is it Bonehawk? Is it Bone something? Tomahawk. Yeah, that one. That one's. I love that one because it's got the horror element in it of Kurt Russell, and I'd love to see more of that. And of course, I love things. Well, who doesn't, about the native Indians and all their stories? There's so much. It's. Have you noticed? It's something that it won't go away, and that's quite right. I think that tells you a lot. Okay, it's had periods where perhaps people sing, into the 70s, it wasn't quite as popular. That there were more a shift, but I don't know. They've always been carried on. They've always been there. The Wild Bunch, for instance. I mean, that is a controversial film, but an amazing western. I think that was because of the violence in it. But they've never really gone away. They've always been around. It's just, I think people spotlight them, and now people like to do westerns or do them in a modern way. Like we've seen Australian films, which are like westerns. It's a great area to look at. Great area of cinema. Seeing all these things, I like the modern westerns as much as I say these are all the classic 60s ones. So I said, whenever someone mentions Jack Palance, I ultimately think about Hawk the Slayer. Yes, yeah, Hawk the Slayer. Well, why not? Why not? Yeah, and Tony, of course. I mean, I think of Craze, and it is a great film. It is one you sent me. Absolutely love it. Delboy's not here, so I won't get all the insults, and you won't. But yeah, that's it's a great film. I really enjoyed that. When was it? Just been listening along with my head in a bowl of hot lemon water and towel over my head, trying to shift this cough. Oh, crikey. Yeah, it's not surprising getting it at this time of year. It's been awful, isn't it? I'm staying in. I'm dead. Not meeting anybody. I don't want anything passed on. God. Anyhow, it's treacherous outside. I'll fall over if I go. I'm frightened of falling over. God, the frost you see, I've been seeing. No way am I going out. Not avoid the corner shop even. I'm so frightened of falling over. But yeah, this time of year, coughs, it's all there, and sometimes they don't shift. But I hope you get better soon, Jamie. Really do. Hope things get better. And then we've got here, Jamie saying, I watched Marty Supreme at weekend. Really good frenetic drama. I've not heard of that, Marty Supreme. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and it sounds good. It sounds interesting. Your recommendations are only pretty good as well. So yeah, that's one to definitely recommend. It says, you've done well this week, Ian. 4 DVDs. Must get that huge cardboard box packed up quickly before you run out. Rant incoming. Yeah. Oh, dear. Anyhow, as I say, I've decided, I thought, well, people don't know exactly all that I watch. I just put in this, and I forget about what I've done in between. So I say I'm going to do a big video of all the DVDs. Well, not DVDs, Blu-rays as well that I watch. I'm going to put everything down that I watch, because sometimes I forget that I've watched films, because I think, I watch, say, a Blu-ray of my favorite films again. I can't, resist, and I forget that as ones that I've watched. So I'm decided I'm going to do a whole video on what I've watched, and hopefully, I certainly watch a film a day, but I watch more than that sometimes. Sometimes I watch 2 films a day, and I want to try and increase that. I do want to try and watch 2 films a day if possible. Some days it might happen, it won't. So therefore, I can talk about them. That's what I aim to do. We'll see how it works out. I think once I get going, I'll be all right. If I'm determined, I can get it all done, all what I've watched in a week. And definitely always make sure I watch at least 1 film a day, and hopefully more than that. Yeah. Oh, also watch Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool. You didn't enjoy it as much as the other Possessor. Oh, I think it's better, actually. I just fell in love with Infinity Pool. But yeah, Possessor's good, but I just thought Infinity Pool was better. I think maybe I'm infatuated with Mia Goth and her performance in it, liking Mia Goth. But yeah, I mean, that's Cronenberg. Well, it's his son, isn't it? And he's inherited a lot of his father's sort of filmmaking. I think Possessor is good. I enjoyed that, as I remember. In fact, it's something I should watch again. You see, these are the sort of films I should need to get watching again, and I hopefully will get more determined to watch films like that again. Because I keep thinking, oh, it's in my collection. I've watched it once, or sometimes twice, films, and that's it. They kind of get lost, and it gives you an opportunity to start looking more into your collection again and watching. So, newer things to watch. Yeah, that's good to see. But I also want to, like watching older things and not the same films all the time, which I rewatch and rewatch. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. I think also when I do the watches, there's no point in me putting in the TV shows, because they're just established what I watch, which is, of course, classic Doctor Who and X-Files. So I don't think I need to put them in. Well, I could just mention them, but there's videos for them. But yeah, that's what I want to do. But I did love Infinity Pool, but Possessor's fine. Yeah, yeah. I definitely should give that another watch. And then Si says, "I'm not being well, a bit like you, Muckman, full of cold. So I've not been able to see Marty Supreme. Is the Oscar buzz surrounding Timothy Chalamet justified? I'm getting it now. Yeah, I'm getting it. James says, yeah, I'm sure Chalamet will get an Oscar nomination. Oh, it's interesting. Very interesting. Oh, yeah. And so I really didn't like Infinity War. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, I understand that, don't I? I just enjoyed the kind of twist to it. But yeah, I understand that totally. And James says, I thought Infinity was more about the shock value than the story. Felt like there wasn't substance to the narrative. That's fair enough. Yeah. And then I want my Chuck Dark DVD back. Oh dear, yeah. Oh, yeah. But thank you for sending. I absolutely loved it. I know I did go on about it. I don't think Delboy maybe thought as much as I did about it, but I absolutely just loved it. I think it's a great film, and maybe I should try and watch more if there is any more films of Joan of Arc. But it was good because for me, I didn't know a great deal about her, so I immediately started swatting up on her, and it absolutely fascinated me. And she was a peasant girl as well, rising so high, but being effectively used by the people in charge when it was convenient for them. Absolutely amazing film. I just everything about it. Loved it. So says, I heard a rumor that Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is going to be roughly 4 hours long. I'll better get the timeline for when I go. Yeah. um, yes. What can I say? Yeah. I wonder. I still think will they show that at the cinema? I wonder if they'll cut it a bit, and then we'll get the special edition when it's released physically. I don't know. I mean, I personally got nothing wrong with long films. 4 hours is rather long, but people get poorly if it's 3 hours. Yes. If there's an interval, I think would be rather good in for a 4 hour film. It's great when you're at home watching a long film. You just put pause on and off you go. In cinema, you might miss something really important. And that's why they should have intermissions. But of course, as soon as you want to go to the toilet, you're queuing up for the toilets because everybody else is trying to get into the toilet as well. And massive queues. So there you are. But I hate having to go to the toilet when the film's on. But what else could you do if you're absolutely bursting? What can you do? I don't know. Try to make sure you go before you go in. Right. James says, I see the stuntman is getting a release through Radiance Films. Have you seen it? I like Peter O'Toole. Yeah, Peter O'Toole. Yeah. He's one of those classic actors. He's great. So Radiance Films, I know you quite a champion of Radiance Films, aren't you? I think I've only got one in my collection, but yeah, that sounds good. And then Sai says, I've always wanted to watch The Stuntman. It was always on an advert on every other VHS rentals. Oh, so it's going back a bit, this Stuntman then. And then Tony says, I was just looking at the Radiance releases for April. Nothing for me, I don't think. Oh, right, okay. I thought they were doing the film noir releases. Have they stopped doing those, or have you got them, or what have you? And then, yeah, I didn't see much for their April releases either. Tony, were your Spanner? I thought Delboy was going to fix it. I don't know. He couldn't find a spanner. So Tony can't have his spanner. I'm sorry. We couldn't. It said it was on, but it's not showing it. So I'm not technical. Delboy couldn't solve it out, so I don't know him. I'm sorry, Tony, about your spanner. Somebody's nicked your spanner, haven't they? And then, yes, I had a promotion from Colour Sergeant to Brigadier. Yay! Yes. Yeah, because you had Zulu, didn't you? Last week, yes. Well, the Brigadier, fantastic. Tony says, not sure, Jamie. Del will be busy thinking about his mum. Just hope no Neanderthals turn up. I do know how to get rid of them now. And when it started, I did manage to get rid of them. Somebody came across, as we know, there's another stream going on. Yeah, what can you say? Right. Look, my movies. We've cancelled Disney Plus and now get 6 months free Apple TV. That's maybe a good idea. Getting through series 4 of Slow Horses, the series 1 of Severance, which is incredibly sinister and intriguing. Yeah, Apple TV is a good idea, isn't it? Free, definitely. I won't pay subscriptions, even though there is Disney Plus. My son pays for it, but it annoys me like hell, Disney Plus, because I all this. I mean, I do the Wi-Fi and the streaming on various things. Don't have any problem. When it comes to Disney Plus, I've got this bloody circle going round and round all the time, and you're watching something, you're there, and then, this is what annoys me about streaming. It's possibly something, I don't know, with the connection from the outside into here. I don't know. My next door neighbour said he's on Sky. He's had similar problems because, though I don't have Sky, the Wi-Fi in and router and all that stuff is through Sky. So I don't know what's effective. It annoys me, but it's funny. It just seems to do it more on Disney Plus than the others channels. I don't know why. It's probably allergic to Disney Plus or something. But it always makes me think, God, you can't beat physical media, and I hate streaming. I hate it. Yeah. Loads of TV series on Apple that I want to get through. There's a Godzilla show called Monarch starring Kurt Russell, which I'm excited about. Kurt Russell, excellent. And then Rocket Bunny. I just subbed to Disney to watch the SW series, then cancel. Sorry, I've forgotten what SW. I'm sorry. Oh, Star Wars series. Yeah, then cancel. Yeah. It's Andor. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's what. I don't. Yeah. Be interested to see what you think. A lot of people rate Andor as one of the best Star Wars series. It's okay, it's enjoyable. That's a really, what can I say about Star Wars? Next is Netflix to watch a couple of things on there. Then I'll go Apple again to watch Slow Horses and a few others. So you got it quite worked out. That's good. Geeky trivia. Bob Monkhouse was in a Hammer film. Oh, Weekend with Lulu, a comedy. I got a bootleg DVD. Wow, that's interesting. It's sort of. Was it with the singer Lulu? Oh, it wasn't. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, Bob Monkhouse is he in Carry On Sergeant? I think he is. He's in, the first Carry On film with Bill Hartnell. I'm sure Bob Monkhouse is in that. I think he is. Yeah. He obviously didn't do any more Carry On films after that. Yeah, it's the only one he's in. I'm really flipping between streaming services, saving a ton of money and getting to see what all the fuss is about regarding TV shows. I think it's a good idea. Yeah. It says we'll watch that Pluribus at some point. Yeah, that's been mentioned, hasn't it? Yeah, it's the only sensible way to do it, Jamie. Yeah, saving money. That's a sensible way. Anything you can save some brass. Well, that's good. Says, I'm not missing Sky at all. They're going to charge us what? £90 plus a month until I cancelled. Wow. £90? Wow. That is hell of a. That is too much. I don't blame you. That is far too much. The Birds used to be my favorite Hitchcock film. All right, yeah, it is. But here we are. But I love Dial M for Murder now. Maybe Psycho is my favorite though. Yeah, I flip and flop. I don't know. I'll say one thing. I'll say Psycho because I've got Psycho is just one of those films that is iconic, and also I love the fact that um, it it set off so many horror film trends. It's just it's up there, isn't it? And I think I think it's 1960, which was a really good year. 1960, The Time Machine was came out in 1960, and also I was born. So there you are. 1960 is a great year, and The Time Machine is one of my all-time favorite films. But Psycho is, yeah. What do you think of Psycho 2? I thought it was great. The Gap was great, and I remember when it came out, Anticipation. I went to cinema to see it, and was absolutely blown away by Psycho 2. I think Psycho 2 was just a perfect sequel, really. It really was. And I wasn't expecting it to be like that. I was just mesmerized when I watched it at the cinema. It just seemed to follow on so well. It's a great sequel, Psycho 2. And I've got a copy. I did buy a copy of it. Yeah, I've got it in my collection. Tony says, how about are now going to release other British horror films not produced by them? First is, crikey, this comes up a lot. Cry of the Banshee with Vincent Price. I have it on double DVD already. Is that a good film, Cry of the Banshee? When I'm doing my sort of things, it often pops up, Cry of the Banshee. It'd be interesting. Yeah. You've got a double DVD of it. Wow. I bet the DVD might be better than the new reissue. Who knows? Because that I bet won't be getting the big treatment, will it? Like The Curse of Frankenstein did, which got one of those big, massive collector's box. And they released sort of smaller ones. I'd be interested to see what they're going to release in the big boxes. I think everybody will be waiting for Dracula. The first Dracula, maybe, could get a big release. I don't know. And then Sai says, I love how Hitchcock only uses natural sounds for the score of the Birds. Yeah, fantastic. There's so many good things about the Birds. It really isn't. And then, isn't Disturbia the Shia LaBeouf film? Yeah, I don't know. I have to check that one off. Shia LaBeouf. It could be. And then, he's got the electronic tag on because he's under house arrest. And David Moriarty is his next door neighbor. That's Disturbia. Yes, yeah, that's how I remember. Do you remember Disturbia?
I remember it. I remember a little bit about it, but I haven't watched it in years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I only overheard the Psycho talk, Psycho and Psycho.
Yeah.
And of course, two exceptional scores. I mean, the first one, Bernard Herrmann,
Yeah.
And of course Jerry Goldsmith.
Of course, yes, of course. Even I admit, I mean, that is the music is so iconic, isn't it?
It's one of
It's
those
just,
things where I'd love to have a discussion on at some
yeah,
point, which is how a composer recognizes when a gap is needed where you don't need music and
yeah,
the
it,
vocabulary or the sight the
yeah,
very fact that the silence is there,
yeah.
because as human beings we don't like silence. If we stop
No,
talking, we're expecting somebody to
no,
talk back and answer. If you don't answer, you think they're ignorant or
yeah,
they didn't hear you or something. You know, we're like that. And in film it must be really really difficult, you
yeah,
know, to actually go, oh, I need this to be quiet. It needs to
yeah,
be
yeah,
serious, to be silent in this.
yeah,
If you can imagine silent films, you
yeah.
know, where there was always music playing, you know,
That's right. Yeah,
and all
yeah,
that sort of stuff, you know.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I can't think back to those days. I mean, you were there, so I mean,
yes, of course.
you know, watching what the
Yeah,
what the
watching
butler
Charlie Chaplin.
watching those what the butler saw videos. I don't know.
I watched Frankenstein film in 1910.
Yeah, yeah.
14 minutes worth of Frankenstein in 1910.
It's weird how Psycho 2, I thought was an
Oh, is
exceptional
Psycho 2
film.
a good film?
It's an
It's
exceptional film.
because that long gap, such a long gap between them, and you weren't sure what you were going to get, you know, and it surprised me. I loved it. I just thought it was such. Anthony Perkins was so good, just continuing the character.
And a weird choice in a way for the black hole when you consider
Oh yes,
Disney
he's in that,
Disney
isn't he?
were
Yeah,
Disney were trying to make a sort of a dark Star Warsy type film, but
yeah,
essentially for kids.
yeah,
But you know, it was a dark film, and
yeah,
I mean, those robots. I mean, there was a documentary that I saw between Christmas and New Year on YouTube where they said that the Maximilian robot was a pure homage to Satan,
yeah,
with red and the shape of the actual
yeah,
robot at the time. A lot of things went wrong in that film.
yeah,
I don't think it deserved to be a flop. It's one of my favorites.
yeah.
Um, you know, it's just really weird when you think back to childhood films that you watched as a child. I mean, for you that'd be in black and white, but for me,
Yeah.
you notice all these things I'm bringing in to show that you're old. No,
What
but,
I was going to ask you, do you think now there's more hope that the black hole will get a physical media release?
I hope so. With Tron coming out, I'm more optimistic.
Yeah,
more optimistic with Tron coming.
So that's good because it must be one of the most. It's mentioned such a lot, the black hole as a release.
Somebody mentioned to me as well that even if the deal went through with the Warner Brothers, it's going to take a year.
Yeah,
that everything that Warner Brothers are talking about bringing out will not affect this year, which means we've got another year to look forward to.
Yeah,
year and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how so many people talk about the death of physical media and it's never been worse, and other people are saying it's never been better, and how confusing that is for anybody that's even thinking about it, because one person is saying, "Oh, it's the worst it's ever been," and the next person is saying, "Oh, it's the best it's ever been." And
they put it on for views. It's clickbait. I think it's clickbait.
Does my head in? It really does.
Yeah. I mean, they love doing clickbait. So many, they dramatize everything. Do you remember they did that with Scream Factory? That they were saying about them, and it was all doom and gloom about them.
Yeah,
and it's just done for clicks. You know, that's what it is.
You know, I mean, I still although it's clickbait. And even though I have my own opinion, I still want to hear what somebody else's view of it is.
Yeah.
I continue to watch it. It's annoying because all I'm doing then is flaming fanning the flames a little bit in watching it myself. You you know, because then it appears in other people.
Yeah. Do you know what I find annoying now? And it's still there. I've seen it. Is people still going, oh, what are the lost episodes of Doctor Who going to be that
Oh yeah,
they're going to know? If they, you feel like saying, look, just shut up. You're milking it and milking
yeah.
it.
You'll find out December 2026.
Yeah,
Shut the
just
fuck up.
you don't need to do it again. But they just think, oh yeah. Or the other one that they do is, oh, let's speculate on what the next Doctor Who collection release will be. Well, it's pretty obvious what the next one is going to be because they've announced it already, which is the Peter Davidson one. But somebody's still trying to say, oh yeah, get a video out of it, and then there'll be another Tom Baker. Well, obviously there's going to be a Tom Baker one because he's still got about 2 left, hasn't he, to do? You know, it's just it's silly, isn't it? It's silly.
So somebody just brought up an interesting. Well, I know it's Muckman, but I'm not going to read it out. But one of the pet peeves I have is re-releases,
right?
From the same label,
Yeah,
right? Like Arrow and RoboCop. I mean, I don't know how many times, right? That it's here's the Blu-ray. 6 months later, here's the 4K, and it's the same artwork. And the only thing they've done is added an extra page at the back that tells you what the 4K restoration was. Otherwise, it's got the exact same stuff that's in it, and all of that sort of stuff. It's like you complete bastards. I mean, you could have put for the money, you could have put both the Blu-ray and the 4K in the same bloody box. You know what I mean? Because you did the transfer, you brought the Blu-ray out first, so obviously you had a negative that you worked from. So you obviously did it at the same time. So you're just cash grabbing. And you know, I'll wait until you get to the comment in regards.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
That annoys me. And you know, they did that with Megan, didn't they? They did a Blu-ray, and then all of a sudden the 4K came out about later. And you know, it's pretty obvious that people have to sell their Blu-rays. You know, if they wanted the 4K. As much as people are saying, and I too totally agree with it, I can get away with the Blu-ray. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind. But it's just that there is that whole aspect of fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and so you know we're guilty being fans to getting those. Do you know what I mean?
I think they do it to collectors. They know how to play you. People like you who buy all the special editions and they know.
Well,
they can play on your collecting. They're playing on it. That's what they're trying to do. But you're getting wiser as well. I mean, why would you buy more copies of certain things that you've already got? And when there's that much difference, people were going on about, was it the Back to the Future release, where there's hardly any difference. There's this documentary or something extra on it. You know, it's just playing on you as collectors, saying you've got to have this. But, you know, the prices are even just, you know, I'm sure you've got to now budget, you know, like everybody else. You know, you can't buy everything. You got to do that. Right. Then Sai says, I just thought you could say that Fright Night is a vampire take on Rear Window.
It's voyeurism.
Yeah. That's an
Rear Window is a take on voyeurism.
Yeah.
As much as you know, these things, you know, like Dress to Kill and all of this sort of stuff are all voyeurism. Things. Rear Window was probably the first one where I thought about we're all nosy neighbors. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people, by the way, are saying that my audio is dropping. According to this, the needle's going into the red. It could be StreamYard.
Yeah.
I've just turned the volume up to 165%, by the way, in the
To be
StreamYard
honest,
settings.
it sounds all right. I've not
Yeah.
noticed any problems, but
And I've
other
just turned the
people are.
microphone towards me. There's not an
Yeah.
awful lot I can do about it.
I can't hear any clicks or echoes.
The
But,
volume on here says it's 100, and StreamYard
right.
actually goes up to 200, and I've got it at 165
Yeah.
at the moment, and the green bar is going all the way to the third thing there. So I have no idea, other than StreamYard might have issues with my connection to it, not yours.
Yeah.
But I'll speak up a bit louder. How's that, you bastard?
And then we've got Tony saying, there's another horror western I have called The Burrowers. Not surprisingly, about creatures emerging from the ground. That sounds good. A creature feature western. Yeah, sounds quite good with horror. And then Jamie says, I watched The Lost Bus and The Gorge. Oh, The Gorge is fantastic. Both really entertaining films. Felt like The Gorge turned into The Last of Us in the second half, though. I've never seen The Last of Us, so I won't know, but I enjoyed The Gorge. I thought it was really good. And it's one that Delboy sent me as a download. It was quite early on, I think, last year. It was really good.
Well, The Last of Us is...
Yeah. I've never seen The Last of Us. I know it's a game.
That's the TV series.
Yeah. It's based on a game, is it?
Yeah.
Right. And then James says The Lost Bus is based on a true story. Around the California wildfires. That's it. I know you. Sorry, I know you had mentioned that before, and I totally forgot. But yes.
It didn't come out too long ago. That.
Yeah. Those fires, yeah, God, yeah, I remember those fires, yeah. And then Tony says, I rewatched Elizabeth Taylor film recently with similarities to Rear Window called Night Watch, in which she witnesses a murder through a neighboring house window. Good twisty ending. That sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing that early 80s.
Yeah. Jamie says that sounds good as well. And then Tony says, good idea. And watch video film. Lots of channels seem to do it. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just I can get them all out. I've watched all week, and I want to watch more films. So it's given me an impetus to do that. And then James says, I'm off to theatre this weekend to see Fawlty Towers. Bought tickets over a year ago. Can't wait. Yeah, I've only good reports.
Yeah, don't you remember I talked about it? That, I was skeptical at the beginning. Then I heard good reviews. Then I really wanted to go but couldn't.
Yeah.
Then UK Gold or whatever they call themselves now, Ewan something or other. They've rebranded themselves. They showed the whole play on just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Plus the whole 2 seasons straight afterwards on a special night. And it's exceptional. I'd love because it's a sort of like mix of all the best bits, like the deaf lady, who says that the sea, she can't see the sea from her window and all of that sort of stuff. That famous scene from Fawlty Towers, where what do you expect to see out of a talking window? Blowing, isn't it? All of that sort of stuff. It's got all of those bits in. And they found an exceptional cast. I'm very jealous Muckman's going to go and see that. I'd love to be able to go and see that. That'd be one that I'd definitely be up. I'd put down as a must watch.
Yeah.
So there. I can be jealous.
Yeah. I think he's referring to that Night Watch that we talked about. He said, I think it's on Warner Archive, Jamie, only DVD as far as I know. Right. And then he's put his thumbs up. And I'm sure there's an Ingrid Bergman film about Joan of Arc.
That's what I was talking. That's what I just talked about.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it's the 50s or the 60s. It's in black and white.
That would definitely be worth me having
I've got it physical. I've seen it on BBC Two plenty of times.
Yeah,
I've got a digital version. It's
I'd love
because
to
I look at it as a markup to all the Errol Flynn Adventures of Robin Hood type things. The castle background reminds me of that. See what I mean? So because the dungeon that she's in looks exceptional.
I wonder. I'm just interested to see how they tell the story and how it compares with that. I'm really going to be interested.
I think it's a more simplified. I think it's a more simplified.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it. It's just I just fell in love with that film. I just love it. But I want to see that definitely. I'd definitely like to see it. And then I think there's a silent film of Joan of Arc which gets very favorable reviews. Wow.
Now that's what I haven't seen, but I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me when you consider silent films. They did lots of epics. So
it says, The Passion of Joan of Arc, 1928.
There you go.
Wow. Yeah. And it gets 4.5 to 5 average on Letterboxd. Yeah. Do you know something? I never look at Letterboxd. A lot of people mention it. I never look at Letterboxd.
I've got another discussion point, and it's because McMahon's brought it up. Now I've got no problem, and so I'm not going to name names, but I was watching a good friend of the channel's video today, and he went to see a film, and he said it's definitely a 10 out of 10 for me, and I don't know if it's because I'm just an old fart. I don't care. Right? I am of a certain age, but we used to get gaming magazines, right? They used to have, scores for graphics and sound and value for money and all of this sort of stuff. And they had an overall, and we used to go ballistic if a magazine turned around and said this game is a 10, right? Because 10 to us meant it's flawless.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way you could make this better. Right?
Yeah.
So I sometimes wonder when people turn around and say that, do they understand that means it's perfection? You could not improve this in any way, shape, or form, right? And it's just one of them pet peeves that I've got. I like 4.5 and all of this sort of stuff. I don't mind, because I would never class Star Trek the motion picture one of my favorite films as a 10. It's flawed. It's flawed. You could improve it. And even when they did a director's edition and changed all the special effects in it, it's still flawed, right? I don't think there has been a film that's perfect. Now, somebody's probably going to turn around and say, how dare you say that Back to the Future's perfect and how this is perfect? But all I'm trying to get at is I sometimes bulk of saying something is 10 out of 10, or 5 stars out of 5 or whatever it is, because I think it gives the impression that it just couldn't go any further. You couldn't make it better if you tried or whatever. I mean, I can easily turn around and say it's an exceptional film, and an exceptional film is worth watching, but I wouldn't put a number to it. You see what I mean? Because I think it gives a false impression.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
It's a discussion point. It's a discussion point.
This is just my personal viewpoint. I used to look at them, think right at the beginning, really, possibly when I was doing reviews and that. But now I don't look at the numbers. They don't mean anything, because often we disagree anyhow. And what do they mean? They're just somebody's opinion of what it is. But they say, more people, they'll say they've got more favorable reviews on this particular film, therefore it's a higher percentage because they've got more favorable views. But to me, I never if somebody says, like, what are you gonna give this film as a number, I don't think I can now, unless it's so bad. I could say, well, it's just terrible, I don't give it any review. I warn you, give it if it's so awful.
I'm going to go back to what I originally said and say it's actually numbers that I have a problem with, not stars. Right?
Yeah,
I've got a book here, right? Leonard Maltin's
yeah,
2005 Guide to Films, and there are a ton in there that say 5 stars, right?
yeah,
I don't have a problem with that. I suppose it's numbers, because I do analytical things every day, and when I
yeah,
when I say that I've done the work, they say it's 100%,
yeah,
right? Then of course I'm going, yeah, there isn't one that I've missed out, right? So it's 100%. It's just that when you start doing that with films and you say it's 100% film, 10 out of 10, all of this sort of stuff. I suppose it's the numbers. I bulk out. I don't have a problem with stars. It's very difficult to fill 5 stars and only show the tip of the right hand side of the star as not being filled. I'd think it was a printing error or something, right? I don't know. I thought it would be a good discussion point because it is a little
yeah.
bit
I think it is.
unfair
Yeah,
to me. It is a little
I just think I don't like to be influenced one way or other. I think
But I
sometimes
wasn't
it's
talking about
important.
influence.
Yeah,
It's what I'm
yeah,
trying to get at is
yeah.
that if
I
somebody else saw 10 out of 10,
Yeah, well, I'd be expecting a lot. If I saw 10 out of 10, I think, oh God, this is going to be an absolute brilliant film. And I would accept if it says 10 out of 10, it's not going to be perfection. It's just somebody's more feeling that they believe that it's a
yeah.
perfect film
Like
for
I said,
them.
I
You're
think it's
never going to say,
it's a
oh, that's going to be a
it's a
perfect
quicker way
film.
it's a quicker way of saying it's an exceptional film,
Yeah,
right? I prefer to use verb, the English language to say
yeah,
what I'm doing. I mean, you will never say in a Delboy short me turn around and say it's a 10 out of 10 film
yeah,
or
I'd rather
whatever
not.
it is. I'll
Yeah,
just turn around and say I remember seeing it and I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Really liked it at the time. It's showing
yeah,
its age, whatever it is. Because I suppose when it comes to gaming, magazines wise, the games used to be re-released about 3 years after that, and then
yeah,
re-review it, and then they'd go, "Oh, it's aged. Oh
yeah,
yeah, we said it was 10, it's now 7 or something,
yeah,
6, 4, whatever." Right? It gives you a gauge, and that's what I don't understand. I don't mind gauges. This is the thing. It's just the numbers. I think it's just
yeah.
numbers that throw me.
Well,
When
I
somebody says
personally,
10, I just think to
yeah,
myself, because if you remember, Dudley Moore was in a film called 10,
10.
and it meant
Yeah,
that she was a perfect 10,
yeah,
right? She is perfect,
yeah,
right?
what
This
yeah,
is where we look at life and go 10. We go, 10, right,
yeah,
no
yeah,
better, right? Well, there is better.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
But let's face it, if you look at a film that's come out, right? It's just come out, and you think, oh, go and have a look what they rate it at, then you could end up being put off. You could do by a film that is really a very good film, and you shouldn't be put off. Don't ignore that. Look at Blade Runner. Blade Runner, when it came out, got
oh,
absolutely thrashed. It
thrashed.
absolutely got. You could imagine looking up numbers then at Blade Runner. It'd have been 1, 2, maybe 3. I don't know. It would. There would have been very low numbers, and now look at now it's considered, an all-time great film. So what can I think people. It's just me personally. I don't want to get involved in
My
all that
memory, my
stuff.
memories of Blade Runner always fond.
Well, mine are
But
always will be.
I must admit, I saw that at a very, very small cinema in Oxford. It wasn't even a main Odeon or
Yeah,
anything. It was almost like a student cinema.
yeah,
No, it was gorgeous because it was so intimate.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So from my point of view, the intimacy made that better.
It does.
There
Big
was
difference.
probably about
Yeah,
100 there.
yeah, yeah,
That's the max, and it was packed.
yeah.
You didn't feel like it was packed because it was such a
No,
small. It was like going into someone's cinema house or something, kind
yeah,
of watching it, right? I thought it was amazing.
Yeah,
Um, and I must admit, I have seen it later on at bigger events,
yeah,
and nothing takes me back more than my memory of going to Oxford and seeing that.
yeah.
You know, that to me was an
Well, for
experience.
me, I saw it the week it came out. Um,
Wow.
it probably came out um, on the Thursday or Friday, and I saw it the day after it came out.
Yeah, it was always a Friday, wasn't it?
And I just, we're amazed by it. But I did have an inkling that it was going to be. I didn't know a great deal about it, but I remember I used to get Starburst. Do you remember
Yeah, yeah,
Starburst?
and Starlog,
And
Starlog.
they had articles on it, you know. So I knew this, and it had Harrison Ford in. And don't forget, Harrison Ford was a big actor at that time. I mean, he was considered, any film he was going to bring out, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
So
little,
if you ask
little,
him about the film, I don't think he's that keen on it.
yeah,
But
little acorns, really, because I mean,
yeah,
American Graffiti, then Star Wars,
yeah,
obviously, and then you go forward and you go Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that, and then
exactly.
Blade Runner, and you're
Yeah,
going, wow.
yeah. And he
Um,
doesn't like being asked about it, does he? He does. He's not keen on the film at all. Um,
saying that,
yeah,
he has actually clarified and said that although he didn't have a great experience on set,
yeah.
he didn't have the problems that people are saying that he did with
All
Ridley
right.
Scott.
Yeah,
He actually was in a Ridley Scott documentary, and he turns around and said an exceptional director. I
yeah.
think it was more to do with the narrative,
Right. Yeah,
and from that point of view, you're a bit trapped because you can have rewrites, but back in the 80s,
yeah.
there wouldn't be that many rewrites.
No, and
You
I
know,
don't think he didn't like to do the voiceover, which of course the
yeah,
voiceover was on the first release.
he definitely said he didn't like the end.
Yeah, the voiceover. I remember the first cut I saw was the one with the voiceover, and the ending was different. It was the one with that taken from The Shining when they're off. It changes the whole tone of the film, doesn't it?
Yeah,
What they made, and I'm glad they did. I'm glad
yeah,
they did it.
and
Yeah,
Sai said himself. He said when he saw The Running Man, he said, "I was really enjoying it up until the last, eighth of the film,
yeah,
and then it ruined it for him." You can destroy a film
yeah. But
at the very end.
I took it when I saw it, even with the commentary. I still loved the film because I didn't know anything. I just visually, just that opening scene that you see when it, with the music and when you're seeing the landscape in front of you, it's just an amazing
Well, yeah,
opening scene, and it blows you away. It
the industrial flames and all that, and
just,
then flying towards
oh,
the
it's
rich area,
yeah. I mean,
which is the
what a
pyramid.
great start visually to a film, and I'd seen nothing like it.
And to me, it's little sound bites, like a light that shines twice as bright shines half as long, and you have shined so very, very brightly, and all of
Yeah.
this sort of stuff. There's all that time to die, and all
There's
that
all
sort of little
sorts in it.
sound
Yeah.
bites.
Great
It's
thing.
it's a quotable film, and that's
Yeah. And it becomes more rewatchable because you want to know more about the film and things that you missed the first time. It's a film that's one of those that you see a few times and you think, oh wow, I don't understand that one a bit more, or maybe not understand it.
I
Sometimes you
I
don't need to understand things. Sometimes
the way-
things are just there. You don't have to analyze them too much, but you discover Blade Runner is a film of discovery. You discover a lot in that film. As the years, even now, I could probably put it on and be thinking, "Oh yeah, something new."
Yeah,
That's
somebody
not
said to
true.
me the other day, actually, did the owl know it was a replicant? How the bloody hell
Yeah.
am I supposed to know?
We'll ask it
I go
next
and bloody ask it.
time.
No, I mean,
Anyhow, we better get on.
no, I was just all I was going to say was is
Yeah.
I can't remember. I remember the one thing I do remember about that is I did stay until the end, just mesmerized by the music.
Oh, I did. I
Vangelis.
watched the credits.
And I do remember the end sequence of flying over the hills with the
That's right.
Vangelis music
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
I'm just trying to think whether it was the voiceover at the end or not that I saw. Pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure it was.
Right.
Anyway, that was the end I just wanted to say about that.
No. It's always interesting. I'm always fascinated by when people see these classic films for the first time.
But I did collect Starlog and Starburst, and I did.
Yeah.
I got both magazines.
Yeah.
And I did love to read about that film and other films. Raiders of the Lost, that Superman the movie.
Yeah, that's it. All that era when they were coming out, Starburst was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Right, mentioning Peter O'Toole just reminded me, I saw him in the upcoming listings, a standard Amore 4K of Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I think that's excellent news.
Lawrence of Arabia has been coming up as a steel book reissue. So many this anniversary, that anniversary, and it keeps selling out. And then physical media, I think, is I was just flipping through YouTube, turned around and said that there's going to be a slipcover standard of Lawrence of Arabia coming out.
Fantastic. That's how it should be. Yeah.
And to be quite honest, I don't care as long as people get to see that film because it's about the film. It's not about the packaging.
Well, people should be able to get the ordinary standard version. It's they should be able to do it. And then no Noir on Radiance this month. That's why Tony's not getting anything on there. Tony says the buffering may be TV related. I used to get a lot of it when watching YouTube videos, but since changing TVs a while ago, I haven't had any problems. All right.
I don't know what that all means. What are you talking about?
I was saying that sometimes when I get on, like watching some streaming channels, I tend to get more buffering. It going, where you get this circle running down. But on the YouTube channels, I don't really get any problem with the YouTube.
Well, I can explain that afterwards. So
yeah,
it's not. It can be what Tony's talking about, but I know what it is for you.
Yeah, but I'm not really worried too much because it's the Disney Channel. I said that's really.
What you have to remember is YouTube has a specific 4K channel. Yeah. When you're watching YouTube, you're watching things at high definition.
Yeah.
When you're watching Disney, I'm pretty sure you're watching 4K. It'll come up with Dolby Atmos or whatever and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it could also be what channel your Wi-Fi is on. I'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. But it changed when one of the engineers came. And they did some work outside, and they said they were improving it, and that's when it started.
It can also be whether there's metal in your walls. It can be all sorts.
Yeah,
I don't know where your router is. Where's your?
Yeah, it's not.
Well, where is your router? Is it in the same?
It's it's down there. It's behind the TV. Because they've changed it. It used to be in the back, but it's here. And then it comes out, connects from the outside, this window outside.
Just remember, like anything, it could be that the back of your telly is quite interfering with the signal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You used to have CRTVs and they used to say, oh, don't put magnets next to them. Yeah. And all of this sort of stuff, right? Just like anything, even though a telly,
and do you think the age of the telly has an effect on it as well?
Oh, yes, because it'll only be, you see, Wi-Fi.
I've had it quite a few years now.
Okay, I'll explain something very quickly. Wi-Fi is now up to version 7, right? V7 Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
If your telly's 5 or 6 years old, it'll only be Wi-Fi version 3 or 4. Everything's backwardly compatible, but of course it wants you to be on a newer. But the other thing that I can tell you is Wi-Fi is split into channels 1 to 16 or 32, and it could be this is not trying to go too technical. You could be on channel 16 of your Wi-Fi, and next door is also on channel 16, and they're interfering with yours.
Yes.
You're interfering with theirs.
They said the same. No, I think that's it.
Now, it gets complex, so I'm not going to go down that road. I could talk about it. I am a technical person. I have been an IT manager. I'm just not
I think you've actually hit it on the head.
You can go into your router and say, "I'll have 8."
Yeah. Anyhow, you're right. We better go on. I mean, I can live with it. It's not a massive problem. It just happens sometimes. But the Disney Channel,
the more you want a higher resolution and a higher stream, the better your Wi-Fi needs to be.
Yeah,
I use my telly's connected actually physically by a cable.
Yes, yeah.
So,
well, my son has to be connected physically to it because for his work.
Yes.
So that's how he's got this cable running right upstairs. Right?
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be good for his work.
And I bet you any money if it was hooked into his TV, he wouldn't be buffering.
Yeah. Right. And then I'm not sure, Tony. We get buffering on occasions with Disney too. Oh, don't get it with Sky or Apple. I don't know. You see, I've had it with Disney too, and I don't know. It's not the singer Lulu. I was just saying, Leslie Phillips is in it too. The leading lady is Shirley Eaton. Oh no, I've heard of Shirley
I don't even know what you guys are talking about, so I'm just going to shut up.
It was on about a film. I forgot what it's called. It's got Lulu in the title. I think it's early 60s. Leslie Phillips. We can imagine he's playing Leslie Phillips roles. Leeds are beat Newcastle 2-1 away. Go on, Leeds. Sorry, Si. Yes, go on, Leeds. You go on. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah. I honestly think that Psycho 2 is one of the best sequels of all time, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I was surprised. I just think it is a good sequel. Really good sequel.
Which is it? The third one that's
he directed third one, didn't he?
No, what I was going to say is the third one the one that's the radio station, or is that the fourth?
Oh, I think that might be
where he phones into a talk radio show and talks about the killings that he did.
No, I think that's the fourth one.
That's the fourth one.
I think that's the fourth one. I'm sure it is. The third one, I'm sure, is not that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I've not seen it for years. But I don't know whether I've even got it. Actually, I've got 1 and 2. I don't know whether I've got the third one.
Oh, I got the box set of 1 to 4.
Oh, right. You got my favorite film of all time is a sequel. All right, yeah. And then Si says, "So you're a Leeds fan now? Come on, make your mind up." I know it's Jamie. He's deciding he's. I thought he's a Liverpool fan. He should be supporting Leeds. Blooming heck, what's he doing supporting Liverpool? But yeah, what can I say? I don't know. Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, he's asking Muckman what his favourite sequel is then.
Yeah. And then, this is Tony saying about Cry of the Banshees is okay and not brilliant in my honest opinion. It just comes up a lot, but definitely worth a watch. Think it's a slimmer release Hammer are doing. Yeah, it will be. I wouldn't have thought it would have been one of their big releases. Not one of the huge ones, no. Says, I'm a Leeds lad, so I still like to see them win. Good. Unless it's against Liverpool. Boo. Liverpool. How can you be a Liverpool fan? Not really. Nay, lad. Keep guessing, Si. The Godfather Part 2. Yeah, that gets mentioned, but he's saying no. I like this one. Exorcist 2.
Oh, shit. If he turns around and says that, then he's basically...
Oh
He's
yeah,
basically lost me as a subscriber.
This is a good shout out. A lot of people mentioned this one. Aliens. Tony's right on the nose. So it's Aliens is your favorite sequel, right? Yeah. Question for Ian and Delboy: favorite sequel? Oh my!
I don't think I've. Do you know what? I'm going to honestly say I don't think I've got a favorite sequel, but I've got lots of sequels that I really like. And because I mean, people could turn around and say, "Oh, come on, everybody knows it's Spider-Man 2 or something." I'd say, "No, yeah, Spider-Man 2 is a great sequel." Then again, The Wrath of Khan is a great sequel for Star Trek, and it goes on and on and on. I've always liked Empire Strikes Back. I have to say that's a great sequel. But it's just, have I got a favorite sequel? I don't think I have. If I was to actually put hand on heart, I'd say it's difficult for me to say what my favorite sequel would be.
I agree. Yeah,
because there are, I mean, there are.
Aliens is a good
it's
one.
like anybody that turns around and says your favorite trilogy. And everybody will say, "Wow, you got to mention Back to the Future, haven't you?"
Yes, yeah,
right. And it's hard to knock that, but there are other trilogies.
Yeah, there are lots of trilogies if you think about it. Well, not lots, but there's always some you can come up with. Favorite sequel is so difficult. I think it really is.
So I've mentioned a few sequels there that I've really liked.
Yeah,
I've always turned around and said Alien is better than Aliens. Always have, but that's not because Aliens isn't a worthy sequel. It's just because I prefer the claustrophobic, slower pace, an all-out action film.
Yeah,
but I will say this: there was nowhere else to go for Aliens to be other than a totally different direction to the first one. So it makes perfect sense that it was an all-out war type film. Just like the third one was, what can you do against an alien when you've got no weapons, right? Where can you go? It's like you needed to. They each of the directors that brought those films out recognized you've got to go in a different direction with something. Where can you go? So we've got a fast-paced one, we've got a slow-paced one. What each of those, they all had weapons. Let's take the weapons away. What can you do? And all of that sort of stuff. So it makes perfect sense. It really fell apart for me from the fourth one on. All that cloning crap.
Yeah.
Bollocks. I just don't. I just went to that. But there you go.
Yeah.
But I mean, I totally get it when people turn around and say Aliens is more superior to Alien, and then other people saying Alien is more superior to Aliens, or Aliens is a great sequel. It bloody well is. It's a favorite of mine.
Yeah,
I love it. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't like it. I wouldn't have seen it as many times as I did when it came out. It's it's great. It's just, for me, my preference is Alien.
Yeah, I know what mine is, and it's one that people mention a lot, but it's one that I can understand why, because it's brilliant. It's Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh, do you know what? I thought you were gonna say Herbie Goes Bananas or something.
No. God, I haven't seen that for bloody years as a kid. Those Herbie movies. Oh dear.
Or Escape from Witch Mountain 2 or something.
Bride of Frankenstein. I can understand that. I think I still love the first one. But
what was it? It's 95th anniversary last year.
No.
I bought it in Steelbook.
Yeah. You did.
I showed you it.
When
I went, look, Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, what a film. Well, I like them. I love watching all those Frankenstein films. I just love watching it. I know the quality goes down a bit, but And when they introduced all the Universal monsters, Abbott and Costello and all that, I still love all that. You can't help but love all that stuff.
I love the fact that when they brought out the Universal Monster box sets, they always have the Abbott and Costello films there.
Yeah, you've got to
even though they're set 20, well, 15 years on.
Yeah,
I think it's a great homage, and it just shows that comedy and horror can go together a little bit.
And they've got the only time that I mean, Bela Lugosi didn't play Dracula, did he, after the first one? But he appears as Dracula in that one, in Abbott and Costello film, doesn't he?
Didn't he do the Spanish one first, and then he did the English adaptation?
Yeah.
Dubbing over it.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't doing Dracula again for a long time.
And his career didn't do very well.
Well, he thought he was going to be a leading man, didn't he? But he didn't know he couldn't talk English.
Yeah, that's right. That's very true. They couldn't give him a script, could they?
I mean, not a lot of people talk about Ed Wood, do they?
I was just going to say, Plan 9 from space, is it? He's in that, isn't he, at the beginning?
Yeah.
Well,
it was probably to feed his addiction to, what was it? Was it painkillers, or was it actual drugs? I couldn't remember.
But he did play Igor, didn't he? In those in the
sorry, it's Igor.
Igor.
Igor. No, that's my Mel Brooks link.
Oh God, yeah. Anyhow, what else goes? Anyhow, we'll be able to go. And then fairly sure you've mentioned it in a video, Jamie. Yeah, he probably has. I mention it all the time. Well, there you are. My favorite sequel is Blade Runner 2049.
It is a good film.
A lot of people rate that. James says, I've only watched the Blade Runner sequel once. I need to revisit. Anyone else getting fed up with these chunky limited edition releases? I don't have the room for them, but I'm noticing more and more being released. Well, it's not me. I don't know much about them. Delboy, I think, might know a little bit more, but I'm sure he's just fed up.
Honestly, again, there was a discussion this Christmas talking about them, and some of them are saying that they are the savior of physical media. Is the fact that people are doing the fear of missing out, and they're numbered, and they're limited edition with books and all of this sort of stuff. What I will say about it is that I quite like the books that are in them if they're done right. I don't like the quick cash in that gives you a lot of crap that's inside them. Like
the stickers.
Stickers. And it annoys me when somebody does an unboxing and say stickers. Oh, they're great, aren't they?
They're not.
Bollocks. Yeah. What are you gonna stick that on your car? Are you big child?
Yeah.
What's all that? There's a fridge magnet in it. Right? And I'm just going, I'd rather not have it. I only want the film, but it's just I do like those Hammer box sets, the big thick ones.
Oh, they're proper ones.
Books in. They really are well done.
Yeah, they are.
We're talking about, you've got a history there talking about the film. And they're so engrossing to read, because I do read them.
Yeah, and you've got the extra discs, all the extras, haven't you? You've got loads of extras.
So, if it's done well, I've got no problem.
Yeah.
But the only thing I've got a problem with is those. And I'm going to get crucified for this. Because I really do not like those eco really thin cases, the ones with half the plastic cut away from it, even on the inside. Thin cases I could get away with. Those eco cases that are equally as thin as thin. They cut the plastic away as well.
Yeah,
Jesus.
But there is a thin cases that aren't eco, isn't there? I think I've had some. Which I wish they did more of those. for you on Blu-ray, definitely. Thin cases, you don't have to do the eco. They help. They're great help. But I mean, I remember like the standard of that some people are having to put up with is pretty bad, wasn't it? Blazing Saddles got a lot of criticism as a special edition package.
I don't know if it got a lot of. I don't know if it got a lot of attention. I bought it.
People didn't like. They thought it was real tat put in there, and it wasn't up to it, which is taking people for a ride, isn't it? Really.
Well, that came out at the same time as North by Northwest as a box set.
Yes, yeah.
It's the same label, Warner.
Yeah. Oh. And then Tony says, anyway, physical has to be better than ever because the number of titles released keeps growing. We have to remember all, or at least the vast majority of past releases are still usually easily obtained quite reasonably. Yeah. And it's also the amount I think this is what should be exciting for people is there's still so many films that have not been released. Some have not even had DVD releases.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just films. There's loads of films that people say, "Oh, I had that on VHS," but it's not even had a DVD release. So there is a lot. I mean, the amount of films is always going to be there. And if you've got somebody who's going to come along, get the film, and then restore it and do a good job, then I think you've still got lots there. They can still release lots of new things. They don't have to keep repeating the same releases. You don't really, you know. Delboy, your audio keeps fading out.
Yeah, I've already talked about that.
Don't very rarely buy these big box editions, only if it's a real favourite or not available any other way. Yeah, I understand totally, yeah. Yeah, I've noticed Delboy is quite faint at times. Yeah, you've sorted that out. Just to inform Del, yes, the audio is dropping very low mid-sentence, like something's popping within the pop. I don't think it's the mic, as it was fine when we were gaming the other night. Anyhow,
hopefully I fixed it because I mean I can see the green bar moving up and down.
Yeah.
So
he says you're sounding better now, Delboy. So, well, I've added the 99 Joan of Arc to my Amazon watch list. Never seen it, but on Ian's statement of it being a good performance from Jovic, I'll give it a go. Well, I hope you enjoy it. It is. It's well worth it. I was impressed really by it. Bo Derek in 10. I'd give her 1. Oh dear, the jokes. Yes. I like that.
I'm sure at her age she'd let you now.
I apologise for the smutty comment. No, it's all right. It did make us laugh, but yeah. It's all right. And then as Jamie says, more smut, please. Rocky says, okay, well, I'm going to put my Captain Controversy hat on and say I quite like the voiceover dialogue. When I first watched the director's cut, I was like, oh no, it sounded empty. But as time goes on, I've learned to prefer it without especially having read the book and unofficial sequels. Actually, I kind of know where you're coming from. I've never minded that voiceover at all. I think it's because I've seen it for the first time. So it never is something that thought, oh, it's terrible. I think it's just having a different contrast. And I think it's all right doing it like that. You know, it's the sort of private eye kind of Raymond Chandler kind of thing, which I think is all right. I think it's because I think people felt that it changed the tone of the film, removing it to how they more wanted the film to be. But I'm perfectly happy with the both versions. I think both versions. And then, which film is that, Bunny? I was in the kitchen making a hot chocolate. Blade Runner, lad. Yes. Rocket Bunny, I bought the Chris Reeve Superman 4K box set with Xmas money. The first film is world class compared with the last film. Getting the well known actors to do the Krypton scenes was genius. And then it adds so much gravitas to the film. I get that totally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, we all know the controversy, don't we? Of
Brando's
money.
Yeah, that was the thing
that he got with that film.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, Superman is sort of like the very first film was the way that superhero films should be made, and I felt that way for 2 decades, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very nice what we've got in the 2000s. You know, the kickoff of great superhero films, and we got, as much as people are talking about them now and saying what a bag of shit, you got to go back to 2000, 2001, 2002. We were all turning around and saying, or should I say, the majority of us were saying, "Wow, haven't we come a long way? These now are great." And it's great that we can tell these stories that we read as kids, with the technical advances so that we can actually do them justice. Just go and look at Spider-Man from 1977, the TV series, and see that bloke walking up the wall. Bloody awful, right? And you got to admit that's true. But Superman and the tag, "You'll believe a man can fly," as a child, because I was 9, 10, something like that. I really believed that tag. It was like I thought it looked marvelous, great. You look at it now and you go, yeah, but it's still a wonder. I still look at it like a Ray Harryhausen film.
Yeah.
You know, I don't ever balk and say, "Oh, look at the bad effects that Ray Harryhausen did there." I know full well what went into those films to make them, right?
Yeah.
So, and I marveled at King Kong for years. King Kong to me was a standout thing that you could do in the 30s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, wow, amazing. You know what I mean? I mean, cinema was still, 20, 30 years old.
Wasn't that? Yeah, exactly.
And they made a film like that.
Yeah.
You know,
also, don't you think, I don't know, this is just my opinion, but I think some people were a bit harsh, really, on this new Superman. Okay, it's not Christopher Reeve, right? We know that, and everybody loves Christopher Reeve, but I don't think it was as bad. I've heard people really going mad about it, saying, "Oh, this is terrible." It's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's okay. It's entertaining. You know, I don't think it's. I just think people were getting a bit over the top with it.
What's that about the first Superman film? Are we talking?
No, this new that's 2025. We just
right.
Film. People were really having a go at it. A lot of people were. But you're comparing it with Christopher Reeve, I mean, Christopher.
Everybody
Reeve
will, though. Everybody will.
It's just brilliant, You've got to take it in the context of what it is.
I think what it is it's just you're constantly recasting, and every time there's a recast,
you're gonna
they start doing. Is he going to be better than? Is this person?
Yeah, well, obviously,
quintessentially, etc.
I think that's always going to happen.
The problem is, in 20 years' time, someone will turn around and say, "It weren't that bad." In fact, I grew up with that one. I don't understand what people were talking about with Christopher Reeve, right?
It's
In 20
time
years' time.
changing. Yeah,
You know,
it is.
you're
It's a good
talking
point.
generational years.
Yeah, it's like people's favorite Batman. Even the darker Batmans. I mean, what is people? It's like that, isn't it? It's what you were
Yeah.
brought up with. It really is. It's a good point. That. Yeah. Rockboy says the Disney app has always been, has it, regarded as poor. In the very early days,
Yeah, it wasn't
offered for millions of users. They had to do many updates before it made it better.
Again, Ian, just to give you some background on this.
Yeah.
Disney, when they wanted to bring out a streaming service, hired, or should I say, poached a lot of the Netflix guys to make the backbone of the streets because they couldn't work out the
You're right.
programming of how to make a streaming service. So the app was poor at the beginning. Oh, it was atrocious. Obviously they've got the money. They've got the talent now, not the money, because they always had the money.
Yeah,
they've got the talent now, if you see what I mean, to do it.
Yeah. It's interesting. Muckman says we had issues with the Disney app logged us out on the TV, but when I checked online, it said we were still logged in.
Yeah.
And Tony says managed to track down the original Star Trek complete series on Blu-ray. Cheapest was a Scandinavian release of all 3 series in one box. Funny enough, it's very English friendly. Even the text on the box, I'm glad you've got it. You've got to have the original series. The original series is just...
Yeah, and the Blu-ray's exceptional.
Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I'm glad you got it. Sorry. It's in English. Brilliant picture quality.
Of course. Now you got to find the animated series, because that will round up the 5-year mission.
Yeah,
it is now considered canon. It is now considered that as the fourth and the fifth years.
But I have to admit, and I haven't bought any of the new animated series like Lower Decks.
I only bought Lower Decks because it was Steelbook. I've never watched one episode of it.
But people actually don't slag that off that much, do they?
No. I think it's a bit like Futurama. I think it's a bit like Futurama. A lot of people will like that type of.
Yeah.
I like the Orville.
Oh, the Orville. It's criminal. It's not been renewed.
I know that's not. I know that's not animated, but I mean, what I'm saying is, I like things like Galaxy Quest, the Orville, all of the comedy.
The Orville was very much like the feel of the Next Generation. I think that's
dark in tone on some. That 2-parter where they went to the android planet.
Oh,
they had all of the people under the ground with all the bones and everything. I mean, that's pretty dark.
It was very dark. And that other one about they did one on gender, didn't they? They did one on gender, which was interesting as well. Crikey. Before it was fashionable to talk about these things. Notice I said fashionable. Third sequel, Blade Runner 2049, especially with the 3-minute interim films commissioned by Villeneuve. Empire doesn't do it for me, despite Star Wars being my fave franchise. Also prefer Alien to Aliens. Yeah, I've always felt that. I do like Aliens, but Alien is just more special to me. And I think sci-fi horror always wins. I love sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
Sci-fi horror is just great. Totally agree. Rocket Bunny Size says on Blade Runner 2049, that is. James says, what's wrong with cloning an alien resurrection? We've already cloned a sheep. So why is it bollocks? Surely by then they could clone you.
Well, that's if you actually listen, that's what I was saying. Although cloning would be that. It's just as a story narrative. it's one of those things where I just find the cloning idea. It's like when people at certain points could only do time travel.
Yeah.
Stories. You have to have a time travel element in a
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah. At one time, you also had that certain things in time travel laws have changed a bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
There was
Cloning
yeah,
was only ever in that film to bring
yeah,
back Sigourney Weaver. It's not
yeah,
a story driven
yeah,
cloning is why we're doing this. It's to bring back an actress.
yeah,
I don't care.
yes,
I don't care if somebody will turn around and say that's not true.
yeah,
As far as I'm concerned, that film they did
yeah,
that to bring Sigourney Weaver
yeah,
back.
yeah. I like the word bollocks because bollocks is because you need the bollocks to probably clone something. Take this as
Oh
the result
yeah.
of the bollocks. So yeah, yes,
I mean, the sixth day. The sixth day is cloning.
yes,
It's
yeah,
not.
yeah,
It's not. All I'm saying is, it's just so easy sometimes to fall into tropes.
yeah, yeah,
Um, the comic. I've seen so many. I've read so many books, played so many games, read so many comics that all have tropes,
yeah,
and cloning is a trope. Do you see what I mean? And for cloning to work for me, it's got to be an exceptional thing to bring it in because it's just been done to death. That's all I'm saying. And in this particular instance, it wasn't. I just don't like that film anyway. Alien Resurrection.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I do use that word bollocks and all of that sort of stuff and what's wrong with it. And I totally agree because there are some people out there that absolutely love Alien Resurrection. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And fair play, love it.
yeah.
I can
That's all
still have an
right.
opinion. I can still have an opinion, can't
Yeah,
I? Still turn around and say what I think because
yeah,
I've
yeah,
watched science fiction most of my life, and I've seen lots and lots of films with science fiction. From 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all of that sort of stuff. So why can't I turn around and say cloning? Yeah, bloody hell. I don't think it needed to be done as a story. You could have still have gone onto that ship and not even had her in it. And it was as long as it reached Earth, that's all that mattered. Because that's when you start going down. The alien has now reached Earth. What happens now? That's the point.
yeah,
Not see whether Sigourney Weaver's in it.
yeah. All right.
I mean, she's needed in Working Girl. I don't think she's needed in Alien Resurrection.
Yeah. Um. Here's a good question. Ian and Dan, what's your favourite Steptoe and Son
Oh,
episode? You can
Christ.
only name one. That's Sandra.
Go on, then.
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll pick. I'll pick the one with Leonard Rossiter in. When
Oh, right. With you mean the people that escaped from the prison?
convicts, and they realise that they've gone there, and there's nothing there that they can have. That the worse off. that they're so poor as they see it. It's not a good place to
I mean,
go in.
to me, that really is a difficult question because I love
It
them
is.
so much. I love them
Steptoes,
so
there's so
much.
many.
So many people will turn around and say it's the Turnstile one.
Yeah. Oh,
With
yeah.
with
Yes,
the
of course.
with the room split into two
Yeah.
halves. That to me is a highlight. There's even some black and white ones that people don't really talk about too much.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that I do go back to, and I think it's a Christmas one. Actually, it's where they're going to go on holiday. He's going to go off without him.
Yes. Yeah.
Leave him behind.
Yeah.
And I suppose the reason I like that one is because nothing antagonizes more than when somebody is getting something better than the other one.
Yeah.
And if the other one's going to be lording it up in the
Yeah.
Maldives or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and the other one's there going, nah, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
But I mean, when it, there's another comedy trope here, which is, isn't it, when I think this happened in Steptoe and Son. I might be wrong. Somebody from Australia comes over. Is that right? Where it's a cousin or a brother or whatever it is.
I don't remember that one.
Might be wrong with that. Could be Only Fools and
No, it could be. You might be right. I don't know.
But yeah, I love them so much.
I don't know how many episodes, but there is quite a lot of episodes, isn't there? So
oh Christ, yeah, the box sets. The box sets are sticking.
Yeah. Well, I hope we've answered your question, Sandra, in some ways. Yeah. Oh, here we are. Rocket Bunny. I've got a rant again about YouTubers. Infantile character limit for comments. It prevents any adult, thoughtful comments that can be elaborated on. I'm always having to abbreviate and put words. Yes.
Isn't it 255? Isn't it a really old engine with 255 character limit or something like that?
Yeah.
And that really is going back in the days of early networking, where 255 characters was as long as your was as long as your file name could be.
Yeah.
Right, and the path along with it. You know what I mean? It really is going. It is old, ancient.
I get you totally. Yeah.
But then again, can you imagine somebody that wants to write an elongated question? It'd fill up the whole of the bloody corner there. You know.
Yeah. Actually, he's right here. Look at this. He says he's right. Just count how many people tonight have to split their comments into two posts. Yeah, it is true. I agree. Totally. Yeah. 3-2 to Leeds. Is that the final score? I hope so. That would be a tremendous result. That would be one of the results of the season. Yeah. Out. Is he the manager of Liverpool? I don't know. Is out? I don't know. Oh, is he Newcastle? I think he's Newcastle manager, isn't he? Yeah. Eddie Howe, isn't it? Newcastle manager. Oh dear. Trouble at Mill there at Newcastle. Oh, Jamie, if you do watch Blade Runner 2049, make sure you watch the 3 short films from Villeneuve before you watch the film. Oh, adds a lot if you haven't already seen them. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then, I laughed there. Will do, Bunny. Are they on the Blu-ray 4K releases? I presume they are. Yeah. It's yes, mate. He says, yeah. Rocket Money, Blade Runner. Yes, I haven't checked my 4K version yet. Tony, favorite Steptoe episode? Not sure of the title, but it's the one where they completely fall out and split everything in the house. Half the TV, it's the stairs. That's the one that and the sink and everything. They split it all up, don't they? Yeah, that is a good one. And then Sandy Olia, Tony Hawks, that's a classic. Thank you. Sandy. And then Tony Hawks is there, I think. Yeah. And Muckman Movies. I enjoy the Xmas special of Steptoe I watched during Xmas, but I love the pickled egg scene, but no idea which episode that is.
Oh, I think the pickled egg scene isn't that where it drops into the bath?
Oh, it could possibly. Yeah, it
Then
probably
he pulls
is.
it out the bath and puts it back in the jar, and he calls
Yeah.
him a dirty old man.
I could see him doing that. Yeah.
But he was. They always do that sort of thing, because if I remember rightly, in the first Steptoe and Son film, isn't he making Harold sandwiches, and he's buttering the bread, and he's got a fag in his hand, and the fag
Yes,
ash lands on the
that's
bread,
right.
and he's
Yeah.
getting ready for
Yeah. I don't know. You wouldn't want those sandwiches. Yeah, I think it's on about the sound there.
But
Yes,
we're being
better
asked
now, mate.
questions, and our memories are sort of like a bit distant.
Yeah.
I don't watch them every month or every week.
No.
I might be wrong with a lot of my stuff I'm saying. We'll say that.
Says, I can honestly say I've never seen a full episode of Steptoe and Son. Please forgive my ignorance. Well, it's something to look forward to. Yeah, if you get a chance to. And then Sandy says, Cy Robson, you need to fix that right away. Yeah, you do.
Well, I would definitely turn around and say you could not go too wrong in saying that Steptoe and Son is a comedy series that you ought to consider having a watch on.
Yeah, you could still watch it nowadays, even though you can see what period of time it's in, like fashions and the way things are. It doesn't matter, does it? It's one of those things that you think doesn't matter what period of time it's in. It just works. It just works so well. And then Tony says, I have to admit, it's a long time since I saw an episode, but must have seen most of them over the years. Yeah, it's well worth it. Sandy said, Ian Dell, last month I went from Windows to
Linux.
On all my computers. Have you had a big change with some device from one brand to another? I think this is a Delboy question. I'm sorry, I'm not as
it could be a question to you, because that is not that. Hang on, that's not turning around and talking about software. You could go from a Samsung TV to a Sony, or you could be talking Panasonic to Philips.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Have you gone from one brand to another when we're talking about devices?
No, I haven't. I've always stuck with same brands, same phone.
Your phone has always been the one that you've got.
Yeah, always same. I'm boring. I haven't switched brands. My phone is still the same brand.
So did you not go from a Nokia then to a Samsung or anything like that?
Oh, years ago, yeah.
Well, that's a change.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I suppose the first mobile phone would have been a Nokia, but then ever since then, it's always been Samsung.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything.
If we're talking about operating systems, I've used so many because I've worked on Linux.
Yeah.
And I've worked on Unix. That was used at our college. But when it comes to have I changed from one device to another, a big change, the mobile phone is the most easiest to explain, because I went from a standard sort of like Nokia to a smartphone. I've only ever had one Apple phone, believe it or not, and I'll never go back. I had a terrible experience with it.
Really?
I had an iPhone 3.
Yeah.
All right. It's just I went straight to Samsung straight afterwards, and then I stuck with Samsung.
Yeah.
But that's, there were so many of my friends that were on Motorola's and all that. They had a Motorola Razr. That was a very popular brand. When it comes to TVs, mostly mine have been Panasonics for the last 10, 15 years. But I do remember my first plasma was a Pioneer.
Mm.
When it comes to burners, most of my burners have been Pioneer Pioneer was a fantastic brand, you know. Don't hear too much about Pioneer anymore.
No.
Pioneer was fantastic. My Laserdisc player was a Pioneer. You know what I mean? And when it comes to PCs, I've never bought a brand because I've built them. I've never gone out and bought a Compaq or a Dell or. So that I'll just cut it short there.
Okay.
There have been no end because of technology. I've tried to stay with technology, so I've never been totally loyal to one brand. You know, even with games, some people will say, "Oh, I've only ever bought a Sony PlayStation.
Yeah,
I've got an Xbox. I've got, you know, I've bought the bloody lot." So it's difficult, but I've never had a problem with the argument Linux is better than Windows and Windows is better than Linux. I said I've got far more things going on in my life for me to get into an argument about which one's better.
Yeah,
right. Each to their own. And to be quite honest, here's a little fact that I suppose I shouldn't read out. I've got a PC under my desk, which is Linux, which has got Linux on it. It is my firewall. The only thing, it's got no screen attached to it. My machine goes through this PC and it's my firewall so that nobody can hack me. Do you see what I mean? And my router obviously can block people, but I got the extra security of a Linux operating system on an old PC that I use as a firewall. There you are. And it'll take them forever to get through. You know what I mean? So next,
we got Jamie saying we won pub quiz last night on the final 100-point question. How many weeks between Queen's hit song "We Will Rock You" and the stage musical "We Will Rock You"? We had 10 seconds to lock in our answer.
I would never clue. I would never clue.
I would. It's what size put 527 weeks, and he says actually no, it is 11 weeks. Yeah, well, there we are. All the ones. That's easy to remember now. I will never use a streaming service, Sandy says. They want you to be happy with never owning anything. I'm physical only now and forever. Oh, I understand totally, yeah. Yeah, it's physical media is the best. Always have physical media if you can get it. I can only take your first answer side. Oh. And then he says, no. And then one says, I'll wait until after Ian and Delboy guesses.
All right. How many? So we will rock you. 70s, is it? Might be early 80s. Stage play. 52. I'll go with 1,300 weeks.
I'll go with 2,300.
Yeah, you're probably better. I'm no good.
I don't know. I just fucked up. Yeah. Rocket must say, I have to disagree with you with regard James Gunn's Superman. Oh yeah, that's it. I thought it diminished Superman far too much. Yeah, I've heard people say that. The ensemble cast was so bloated that it looked focused on the main story it was trying to tell. Yeah. I've heard people say that, you know. And then James says to really answer on what we said to win the quiz. Yeah. Okay. I've never seen The Orville. Is it a comedy sci-fi? It was supposed to be, but to me, it wasn't. It went quite serious. It was supposedly started off.
Yeah, I think it started off to be something like what Mel Brooks would try and do,
but it
to do something. But from my perspective, I think that they thought of the story or the premise first and then made comedy around it, which
Yeah.
I think is why it worked for me.
Yeah.
Because there was an interesting story. I think it's in the Orville. It's where they warp into a flat plane and they only communicated on this plane. Do you remember that, where they were trapped in a very thin? You could only they were on a very thin line. You know what I mean? It was sort of like they were skimming along.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was in the first season.
Yeah. I must watch it again. Definitely.
What I think is terrible is that I don't think I've seen physical releases of the Orville.
I think there might only be one season released on DVD.
Yeah, DVD as well, probably.
It's probably out of print as well, I would imagine. I have seen bootlegs of it. That's all.
There's been so much talk, hasn't there? They kept saying it's Seth MacFarlane's fault why there isn't.
They've cancelled it, I'm afraid.
All of this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's a busy bloke. But I mean, I must admit, I don't like to. The thing I don't like really an awful lot, totally in my life, really, is finger pointing on who's to blame.
Yeah.
Why have you got? Why is the whole blame got to be on the shoulder of someone? Right? It could be in many things.
Yeah.
You know, for all you know, it was getting the cast all together.
Yeah.
You know, it could be they really wanted to have the same crew back, and they've now been split.
They probably waited as long as they can, but they're actors, and this is how they make their living, and therefore they have to take jobs. And if other jobs come in, if they're not guaranteed that they're going to get another season,
all I know is I feel sad that there isn't going to be another one. That's how I feel.
Yeah. They kind of at beginning sort of tried to make it more optimistic, but as time went on, no, the actors can't wait.
I felt exactly the same way about Firefly.
Yeah. Again, they can't. They they made the film, but it's not the same, is it?
Serenity, yeah,
not the same. Serenity. It was okay. I won't go mad on it. It was okay. That's all.
Just for me to turn around and say, I would say, give it a shot. Why not?
Yeah.
I definitely. No, I'm not. No, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to do a recommendation. There's so many people that would say, don't watch the first episode or watch this particular. I'm not going to do that. Go, just watch it.
Yeah,
just see what you think.
Yeah, and don't forget, a lot of series, sometimes you have to get into them. You do have to watch a few episodes because you have to get to know the cast, the characters, and how the stories sometimes link and follow on. So, if you think, oh, I'm not so sure about the first episode, do I sometimes just give it a few chances, and once you get into characters and then you realize, these are good characters you want to know more about. And if the story is good, you jump on that. Orville is great. Yes, it's essentially a parody on Star Trek The Next Generation by Seth MacFarlane, who loved it and appeared in an episode. He was very good at it. He was excellent. Yes, it's got Seth MacFarlane in it. That's right. Yeah. Rob Bonnet. It even shot in a very 1990s way, slower paced, quite talky, but yet the FX are great when they kick in and are needed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you want to know what the FX are like, it's got probably one of the nicest opening scenes that you'll have with the Orville flying by. It's like Voyager, but it's actually got quite a nice tune as well. The actual main theme is quite catchy.
It is, yeah.
It's really done in a homage way, and I think it works.
Yeah,
because they don't try to take the piss out of that.
No, exactly.
The Orville, it actually even looks quite nice as a ship.
Yeah, you can see it's a love letter to Star Trek.
I would say so.
I think it is. Yeah, it is. And then we've got Sandy here saying, Del, how is your mum? Oh, she's feeling well.
Sandy, that's the nicest thing. Thank you so much. We were talking at the beginning. She's just had her injections, steroid injections in her knees, and we won't know for 5 to 7 days whether the pain relief and the mobility will change. From a memory point of view, it's degenerative. It just gets worse. It's like anything. The more that you lose your faculties, the more you can't control bodily functions. So incontinence gets worse and all the rest of it. I won't go into all the graphic details, but every day my mum's in my life, the more I care and the more, I wouldn't want it any other way, because I know what the reverse is going to be like. So, love my mum. I say to her every night, Mum, love you, and I want you around forever. If you ever want anything, press that button. I'll be here in seconds. It'll be like Speedy Gonzales. I will be like, whip it straight round there to your room. You want your nose rubbing, itching, if you want, you want me to turn the channel over, I'm there. You know what I mean? It don't matter. So that's me and my mum.
Yeah, that's good. And then James says, I thought Sigourney Weaver was great in Resurrection. Those are facts. She did the backwards basketball.
That is a highlight, I have to say, because she almost like keeps the basketball glued to her hand, doesn't she? She's like that. That is quite good. I do like that bit in the film.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Sandy. Yes, Ian changed my sex. I'm Sandy, not Sandra. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did. Yeah, I should have my glasses on. Yeah. Sai says, genuine question. Can anyone remember when a storm was just a storm and each storm didn't get a name next in line alphabetically? Woke nonsense, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I don't know. It's been going for a few years now, but there was a time.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the. I think somebody was bored in the Met Office. Weren't they?
Yeah,
they decided.
It must have been. Oh, what shall we do? Oh, I know. Let's give the storm a name. Okay.
If it's the first storm and it begins with A, then we'll call it Annabelle or something.
Yeah. Oh, right.
This one that's coming. I think it's French, isn't it? So basically,
they'd have to start expanding, won't they? They have to think of new names. Yeah,
I'm worried. Don't get me wrong, because part of our fence is leaning, and I've been, and everybody's put their ambers and yellow warnings and all of that sort of stuff.
Is this?
I'm not worried about snow. I'm worried about wind.
Is this coming to starting tomorrow onwards?
From tomorrow night, yeah.
Oh God. Oh, let's hope we don't get much here. Oh dear. And then Rocket Bunny, I watched a fantastic archive interview with Harry Corbett the other day. It was a fascinating hearing this well-spoken actor talking in depth about Steptoe. Yeah.
It is. There was one I watched over Christmas that I've seen several times.
Yeah.
He was actually being interviewed, and I don't think I even saw who the interviewee was. They concentrated on him, and he had a fag in his hand. You don't actually see this, a cigarette in his hand. You actually don't see that very much, but it just shows you the period of time, And he was talking about how well he thought that his co-star in it.
Yeah.
He said, what introduced him to Steptoe, and suddenly he turned around and said, "Well, I've got no sort of bind to Totting and scrap merchants whatsoever. It's the writing, and it was Galton and Simpson that basically taught me into it, and it was the other co-star in it that I thought would be interesting to work with, and we work incredibly well together. And this goes against the grain where they always turned around and said they hated each other and all of this stuff. Apparently, even the daughter of Harry Corbett has turned around and said, yeah, they didn't meet after work, but they respected each other and all of that sort of stuff. Why is it that you have to go for drinks together afterwards or go for meals afterwards and stuff for people to speculate and say there's a rift between them, right? No, I don't do that at work. We rarely on a Friday said, yeah, let's all go down the pub. We went, right, I'm off home. Sod this.
Yeah. You want to get away?
I ain't going to be around here anymore. I want to get home and put my feet up, watch a film or something. I don't know. I want to be around you great.
You have enough of you.
So, why is that any different? Just because you work in film and TV and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a black and white interview, and it was a brilliant. I really liked it.
People forget it's a job. They're actors. That's it.
They're jobbing actors.
Yeah. And then Sandy says, Delboy can't follow instructions. I said, name one. And he names 3 or 4. Ha ha. There was an Australian who came over and was Harold's unknown brother. There you are.
I will wag my finger at Sandy and say, name one. I named one, and then I said there are so many, and I named the other. Right? But I named my one.
Yeah.
Wag.
Oh dear! Look what happened. Oh dear!
I love
4-3 to the tune. Oh dear! Oh well, another day. We can still stay up. Just and then Sandy says, Rocket Bunny, 71. He died far too soon. Have you seen The Bar G? It's a great film starring him.
I don't think I've seen The Bar G.
No.
I think he's fantastic in Carry On Screaming.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Undoubtedly.
And then when it comes to his co-star, he's brilliant in Mutiny on Holiday on the Buses.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I know. Fantastic. And then Tony says, I can understand how names for severe weather may help people be more aware, but I'm sure we never used to have so many warnings years ago, especially for snow. Main problem is we've become less, it's down here, continued, accustomed to having snow of any significance in recent years. That's true. I can't even remember when we last had snow. I can't.
Oh, honestly,
I can't remember.
And I still remember when we had that. They used to call it the Beast from the East, which was a big cold snap that we had. That was in sort of like March, April time. Nobody realised just how cold it was going to be, and I was travelling around the whole of Thames Valley doing my maintenance on servers. And I tell you what, I've never been so cold in my life. It was
Oh God.
Because the parking was terrible, and then you had to walk to the actual place that you had to go to, and I had a big backpack on, and I tell you, I was freezing, absolutely freezing. But weather. What can you say about it? Other than the arse for everybody.
And then we've got Saying agreed, McMahon, about that. Pickled head scene was pickled onions.
Pickled onions. I can't remember.
So
it was pickled onions.
Yeah. And Tony says, I have the Bar G on DVD, Sandy. Well worth watching. Tony would, yeah. Tony Hawks, yes. There are a lot of huge stars in that film too. And then Rocket Bunny, I need to see in department video that demonstrates Linux again. I'm
Linux,
increasingly frustrated with Microsoft. Some games have known issues, though, as their cheat presentation.
Software, I suppose.
Software won't work on it.
I take it as well.
Right. And then, sorry about Rocket Bunny, I'm not very good. Sandy said, Rocket Bunny, I used Windows for years and was happy with it. But in the last year or two, Windows has gone bad and made some dumb decisions. Glad to dump it now.
Yeah, some people will they do just like anything, Ian. On when you go on YouTube, they will do disasters, right? And Windows has gone through all sorts of different versions, just like anything. You know, you got Windows 95, XP, Vista, 7, 8, 10, now 11. You know, all of these different things. And I mean, my worst experience with a Windows operating system was Windows ME, which was Millennium Edition, 2000 it came out. Bloody awful. Absolutely atrocious, right? Now, I've actually become administrator status on certain operating systems like XP. I was an administrator on XP. I actually was an administrator, believe it or not, on 7. I never became one on Vista. Vista was very short-lived. But it's like anything. They try to... The thing I don't like about Microsoft, and they've done this for years, they ask you to buy their operating system and expect you to be the system testers. It comes out and it's bugged. And they expect you to go to report that there's a bug in it. So really, you're a system tester. Well, if I'm a system tester, people that system test things, they get paid for that job, don't they? Can you give me some money? I'm system testing your software. Do you know what I mean? How many times have you bought a car? It's got a bloody big fault on it, and you'll test, and they turn around and say, "Well, yeah, you're system testing it for us." No, I bought a car thinking it was perfect. Now, I'm not a system tester for Ford. I'm not a system tester for Audi. I'm not a system tester. You know what I mean? Too much of that's going on. It's what they call early access now, Ian. Just so you know. Early access to me is, can you system test all the bugs for us, and then we're going to release it? Well, if I'm going to system test it, can you pay me? That's how I look at it. You know, so I have to agree with that.
Rocket Bunny, for Dell, as he mentioned gaming brands, I've made a conscious decision to abandon consoles, having bought them all since the original Xbox. Will you be buying any next-gen consoles when released?
Well, you won't be doing that, so I'll answer that very, very
quickly. I'll just let you answer it.
No, I'll do it very, very quickly. It's highly unlikely, but I can't say never. It's one of those things where I'm not excited anymore. There's no generational leap that makes me get excited, and all the games are pissing me off. They're supposed to be AAA titles, and they want you to spend £100 on them. And when you get them, it's the same ideas that came out 25 years ago, with just a slight graphical change or a musical change. There's nothing in it. So I'm a bit like Rocket Bunny. Rocket Bunny and I do agree on quite a lot of things, to be quite honest. It's great. But that's how I look at these things these days. I had the PS5. I got it 3 months after it was released. I remember the big hoo-ha on it because it was COVID days and you couldn't get one, right? So many kids went over Christmas without having their console that they wanted Santa to get for them. And I tell you what, it stayed in the box for 2 months. Never even opened it up and hooked it up to the telly. Couldn't care less. You could turn around and say, well, that's a bit evil of you then, isn't it, Delboy? Because somebody's little boy could have wanted that. You took it off of them. And I'm going, should have been bloody quicker then. You know, whichever way you look at it, I didn't get it day one. But yeah, I didn't even take it out of the box for months.
Mm.
But this was a time where I was going into work and working for 15 hours a day, giving laptops to people to work in the probation service. When I got home, I slept. And I slept all the way through Saturday, catching up with sleep.
Yeah.
And I was back to work on the Monday. So there were reasons why I didn't open it up. But I still think that even if it weren't for that fact, I probably still wouldn't have opened the box that early. Just wasn't excited. Wasn't excited about it.
Yeah. Rocket Bunny says, I just feel so let down by the recent generation, and my new PC has been so much better, even on my new TV.
Yeah, I've always felt that the PC is such an underrated games console. You can't really call it a console, but it's just that it was right at the beginning, it was always considered a business machine. And yeah, and this is the same for anything. If you look at Sir Clive Sinclair with his Spectrum, he wanted it to be a business machine. He wanted it to be a learning tool. It turned into the biggest gaming machine you could ever get, and he hated it. I've spent hundreds of thousands on the development of this machine. And what are people playing on it? Bloody Manic Miner. That's what he said in an interview. He wanted it to be an educational tool. He wanted it to be in every school. I mean, a bit wishful thinking with his cutting back on quality. But you have to look at it and go, you were never going to have that in every school. Christ, rubberized piece of, a dead flesh keyboard. So, but you have to understand, people that design these things have an idea of what they want it to be, and when it doesn't turn out to be that, they're disappointed. So it's like anything, isn't it? IBM, I'm sure they don't want their machine to be a games console. You know what I mean?
Right. This is interesting. Quiz question. Answer was 1,283, and we put 982. We were the closest.
Oh, well done.
Quiz and £50 bar tab. Oh, pretty good. Yeah.
I still don't think I was anywhere there.
1283. Del was only 17 weeks out. Hey, there you are.
Hell. Oh, right, because I said, what did I say? I said like 1,300, 1,400.
Yeah, I was way out.
But I was just working it out like 52 years.
Yeah, I guessed it just came
How many
into my head.
decades is that? There's 10.
Yeah.
Like this. In my head, I was doing that, but I don't even know the exact date that the Rock You came out.
Yeah.
But I know that the musical came out in the 20s, the two.
Yeah.
So
Rocket Burn says season 3 of the Orville was much more serious than the first two. Yeah, that's true. It was. Yeah. And all the better for it, in my opinion.
And it was buried in the rating. It was buried in the rating. It was buried in the channels.
Yeah.
I didn't even, I had Sky, and all of this sort of stuff, right? And it was buried. Didn't even get advertised.
Yeah.
It returned.
It's almost like they wanted it to fail. It's terrible, isn't it, when they do that? And then Rocketman says, I've only found the first two series of the Orville. You can buy in HD on Amazon to stream, not series 3. It's yet another victim of split season right holders. Oh, really? Similar to the Expanse.
Yeah, wasn't it cancelled after the second season, and then another company, another channel bought it for the third one? Wasn't it? That's the reason why, because it was like Hulu or something like that.
Yeah.
So it did go like that.
Yeah. Rocket Runner says, well said, Ian, regarding I'm to watch several episodes of a series to get to know the characters. It's one of the huge problems we have with modern series being so short, 8 to 10 episodes. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you and I, Ian, haven't we? We've talked at length, like Star Trek: The Next Generation, the first season. It's like there was
yeah.
3 episodes or 4 episodes that were any that you would
You have to
consider to
stick
be
with
any.
it. Yeah,
Most people cite that it's the 2-part end of 3rd season, start of the 4th season that springboarded it. I disagree with that.
yeah,
I think actually the 3rd season is pretty
yeah,
darn good quality wise,
yeah,
and I must admit everybody wanted to know what Locutus was going to be like and all of that sort of
yeah.
thing. You know.
I, I would argue that first season, okay, it's not as well thought of, but you did get to enjoy the characters. The stories may not have been as good, and also it's a pity they didn't continue the storyline they had with the after. Do you remember the conspiracy episode?
But that's
With
the
the
one that everybody
alien
talks about.
conspiracy?
I remember when that came out on video, the actual Sun newspaper showed a picture of the head exploding and saying Star Trek
It
goes
got into
like,
trouble. I know. Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But if I remember rightly, that ends on it never got answered. That
No.
that particular episode, and if I remember rightly, there's a Morse code type noise that's at the end
Yeah,
that's
but
supposed to indicate the message has gone out.
yeah,
That
I
never
love
went.
the idea that there were conspirators in Starfleet. I thought that was great, and it'd already
Yeah,
been touched on in films, Star Trek films, hadn't it? That there were people that
yeah,
that Starfleet was not all roses at all.
yeah. I mean, it
Yeah,
took the film, didn't it? I mean, to
yeah,
actually do that, didn't it? I mean, the
yeah.
Undiscovered Country
That's
shows
right. And
conspiracies.
Conspiracy was another good one. I think. I really enjoyed it, but
I mean, we'll always have that argument because I said that the Tasha Yar story was, I thought, quite good.
yeah,
The
yeah,
death of Tasha Yar.
yeah,
I
but
thought that was a more middle to better episode of that season.
yeah.
The ones that I disliked were things like Wesley getting a hard on for all the bloody
Well,
women
I,
that were running around in an idyllic sort of like
yeah,
garden
I know which
society
one you
type
mean.
stuff.
Yeah, it's an
And then
early one. That,
and then of course they
yeah,
did remakes of things like The Naked Now, didn't they?
yeah.
The Disease, and all that
I
sort of
think the problem with the first series is it was always, and the fans didn't like it, that Wesley was saving the day all the time. He was like a super brat.
Well,
Who'd come out with the
the first season as well has got too much of Gene Roddenberry's influence on it, which is
yeah,
why you got
but
Naked Now
yeah.
rerun stuff.
On the other hand, I would look that we did start to get into data a bit more. There's all sorts of there are positive things in the first season, which I think
Oh,
led to it. You know,
it was pure genius that Data had a brother.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
there's all
pure
that stuff.
genius. Of
Yeah,
course, Data. How can Data not be a revision of something earlier? I mean,
yeah,
that's a fantastic
and
thing.
the origin stories are really good about data. I mean, they're really good.
And the crystalline entity was quite a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad as people make out. I understand why third season is because it did change, but it's still good. I mean, I wasn't as keen on the Doctor in the second series, but she was trying to be like an imitation of Dr. McCoy more. They tried to make her that
Yeah.
sort of abruptness, but I still enjoyed watching it. I still enjoyed the series.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's see.
What did you think of the holographic episodes sometimes with Data being Sherlock Holmes and that? I must admit, I didn't really get on with that.
Actually, I'll be honest, they're not always my favorite.
No, Moriarty and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff.
They seemed like an indulgence of the writers who wanted it. I'd like to have seen something different. I think using the holographic stories could have been well, they did use it once, didn't they? Where one of the crew members, one of the sort of lower lieutenants, didn't he start to think he was in charge of the ship? And that was quite a good story because he got so involved in that he couldn't tell the difference anymore, I don't think, between what was real and what wasn't. And he developed this personality. That was quite good. That
You know
explored.
what? I've had such a good time. I've only just looked and noticed that we've gone past 11 o'clock, and I don't know how far
right.
we
Sorry.
go in the comments.
Sorry, we better get going then.
No,
Sorry.
I've had such a good time just talking about shit. It's
I
great.
didn't notice. Yeah, that's good. I want looking. Yeah. I've added the Orville to the list. I found it on 7 Seas. Good sign. You give it a watch. Yeah.
Give it a watch.
Yeah. Rocket Bunny. No, Sandra, I have a Monster Gaming PC plugged into my TV. I have no need for it. I am, however, waiting for the next gen Steam handheld when they get around to it.
Yeah.
That I might buy. Right. And then, Si, what is 7 Seas? Sounds a bit up and down to me.
That's a joke, isn't it?
Oh,
is that what is 7 Seas beyond the medicine, and what is the 7 Seas beyond what we know of it in the world, and what is 7 Seas?
7 Seas of Rye. The Queen thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Who sang that song 7 Seas as well? 7 Seas.
Yeah. Going to bed. Been a pleasure. Take care. Bye, Jamie.
Have a great one, Jamie.
Bye.
Miserable shit.
Yeah. Good night, Muckman. Have a good one. And then Tony says, night, Jamie. And says, I don't want to be remembered for.
Oh, that was the line. So Clive Sinclair didn't say Manic Money. He said, I don't want to be remembered for Jet Set. Kim Willie. He did. That's what he said. That was his line.
All right. Okay. Although the first season of Star Trek Next Generation was a bit cheesy and soap opera in style, it was head and shoulders above any other sci-fi on TV at the time. Arguably, it brought film quality to FX, the TV screen. That. I think that's a good statement.
Yeah, I mean, what was around at the time? You had War of the Worlds, didn't we?
Yeah. I remember looking at it in awe when I first started seeing trailers on TV. Boney M sang that Delboy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 7 Seas.
And then Si says, 99 guys, great stream as usual, Ian and Delboy.
Thank you so much.
A special shout out to Mrs. Delboy, Si.
Thank you, Si, so much. And I will pass that on. She actually talks about you.
Well, that's great. Fantastic. And Tony says, good night all, and thanks Tony as well being here. And then we've got Rocket Bunny. Okay, well, I bid you both a very good night, guys, and wish those left in the chat farewell. Well, that's it. You're the last comment. Thank you so much, Rocket Bunny. And thank you, everyone who's been watching. It's been great. We've really enjoyed it. And thank you for everyone that's put any comments in. And I say everybody's watching, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And thank you, as I always say, to Delboy. It's been great. And it's something we always look forward to every week. I do anyhow. So I'm rushing now.
Thanks for all the support that everybody.
And I just say if I know it's a bit late, but if anybody hasn't subscribed to Delboy's channel, please go and subscribe. We've got 11 people, and you never know, somebody might not have. I've put the link in, and just click that, and you'll get over to his channel. You'll love his channel. He's much more than the blog he does, which is actually brilliant on a Sunday. And he's really good. Absolutely love his channel. So please, if anybody hasn't subscribed, go over and subscribe. And I think that's it. I know it's probably in the wrong place, but these things happen. I forget.
All I got to say to that, he's such a nice little shit, isn't he, really?
So have you got any thing to say then? We'll say our farewells.
Yeah, well, you know, we always do the two Ronnies, don't we? You know, so it's like, and it's goodbye from me. You know,
And it's good night
good
from
night
him.
from him. Good night. I always seem to do the whole both parts because you never fill it in with that. So I'll just do my normal, which is salute, because of Frankie Howard and up Pompeii. I just thought he was incredibly funny. And then over to you with your closing.
And I always say, I'll see thee. I'll see thee again. Bye.
Jazz hands.